We live and in the building. What it do? What it do? What it do? Dreeko, what's good with you?
Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way, man. How everybody doing this Sunday? We got a excellent fight coming up, man. And with Mayweather and the Logan Paul and the Paul brothers, they fighting. They on the card, man. Very exciting day, man. I'm so glad to be here, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man, but I don't know how excited that shit is. I'm not paying for it, and I get a discount on pay per view. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how excited that shit gonna be, but
Oh man,
it is what it is. What it is. Floyd, get your money, man.
yeah,
Like
get your bag.
no one's forced to buy it. But at the end of the day, uh, who could turn down nine figures? I
Hey,
couldn't. I
why
mean,
not?
especially if it's against somebody who's fucking 0-1. Oh, here we go.
I go.
Here we go. You live in the building. All right.
Oh man, look at this guy, man.
We have two of the pioneers from Loyal to the Game. All right. We
Yes,
got
sir.
Dreeko in the building. We got my former neighbor, Kyron in the building. I was minding my own damn business, trying
Yeah.
to have a nice little Sunday with the wife. But next thing I know, I got a DM that some people need some smoke, and this is the way to have appropriate, uh, uh, an
Smoke.
appropriate outlet
Yeah.
to hash out disagreements, not with the threats, not with the disrespect, not with the bullshit, but a nice debate amongst brothers and friends. I caught the tail end of what was going on, and it was a pretty long thread going on there. Uh, I think Drake. I got to be 100 with you, man. I think people, after I tenderized you up in our last debate,
Oh Lord.
everyone trying to jump on you now, man.
Yeah. But
But
see,
I'm,
they got it confused just because you out talk a person or you over talk a person or you talk for 5 or 10 minutes. They think that's how it goes. You know what I mean? But man,
I,
I'm just
I, Drinker, we was see what you gotta understand is in our last debate, you was having a breakthrough moment. I had to, I had to bring out my Dr. Phil moment with you, and it looked like you was catching on to it. But we cooked for about
yeah.
5 hours,
Well,
and
by nature I am a Spence fan, so you know what I'm
uh,
saying. So I'm gonna
uh,
resort back to who I am.
Okay,
You
I
know.
don't know. You look like you twinkled your toes over there in the Crawford camp for a second.
Yeah, he a Crawford groupie.
Yeah, I know. You're
Yeah. I'm
up.
kind of
Okay.
50-50. I'm kind of 50-50. You know what
No,
I'm
you're
saying?
not. Stop,
What,
stop, stop. You
uh,
90-10.
what
See,
about
y'all
six?
put
What about
they put
60
me
40?
I'll take 60-40. They
Or
see
whatever we give you.
people put me in a position because I see things so one-sided that is no one to speak for the Crawford. So I got to be that voice
But see,
of the
that's not
Crawfords.
true because the
I got to
Crawford
be
people
that.
don't want to be talking.
I got
salute,
to be the
salute,
voice. I got to be Lil Durk for Crawford.
salute to the chat. We got my brother here, Tyrone Melvin.
Ty
Salute to
Melvin.
you.
Oh,
Clarence
yeah.
McClain, my brother.
It's
Salute to you.
on.
Salute.
It's on.
Yeah.
What's up, Doc?
Will Murphy, salute to you, salute. I don't know who this is. They say Philly and New York in the building. My guys,
Oh, what
I
up? What
gotta take
up?
a look and see
Yeah.
who that is. Whoever
Let's
this,
go.
whoever this is, just make sure, just go back into the post, click on that StreamYard link in the post, register your Facebook account. That way we can get your profile and picture up there. All right, all right. Oh, salute
I got to
to
go.
my brother Chris.
I
Hope you had a good time out there
go see what you're doing.
in
That's
Cabo,
not
my
good.
brother.
Yours is upstairs. Where you headed?
Salute to you. All right, all
I'll be
right.
in.
So the floor is open, man. I'm not gonna take. I'm not gonna. Oh, what's up,
Yo,
You
Latik?
can't come back here because I'm talking.
What's up, Latik? See if you could register your account with StreamYard just in the post. All you gotta do is just go out, click on the StreamYard link, and register your Facebook account and come back in. Take literally like 2 seconds. Yeah, man. So look, Dreeko. See, Dreeko said we jumped him in the last set, but I'm just gonna play mediator here. I will play mediator here. I will open up the floor. I'm gonna open up the floor for you guys, man, and go ahead, man. The floor is y'all's, man. So what's the the internet boxing beef going on between y'all. What y'all need to hash out?
Okay, you want to go first, Dreeko? You want me to go first?
No. You go ahead, man. You a guest. I'm pretty. You know, I'm kind of at home here, man. Wipe your feet. Come through this door. My casa, su casa.
All right.
So the conversation was about Boots versus Ugas fighting Crawford.
Okay.
And my position is for Ugas to fight Crawford is a hypothetical fight. Bob already met with Ugas. He never offered a deal. If Ugas wanted half from Spence, he's going to want half from Crawford, which nullifies that fight altogether.
Makes sense. Okay, what's your position on that, Dreeko?
My position was I just cancel Bob Num out of it, and everything is hypothetical. So when he say my hypothetical with Ugas, when he say my thing with Ugas is hypothetical, then you must also say that the fight with Boots is hypothetical. So the whole thing being hypothetical, my point was the whole thing being hypothetical being my point was if you line those two up side by side.
What's that?
Oh,
go ahead.
If you line those two
I
fighters up,
I'm back.
Boots Ennis, and you line Ugas up, side by side, TC would he would have to fight Ugas, considering that Spencer's on a tear winning these titles. Why fight Boots when Boots has nothing to offer, and you got Ugas over here with the title? So yeah, I would say that the most likely of the two fighters would be for TC to fight Ugas.
No, that would be the more hypothetical, not more reasonable. Boots is ranked by the WBO. He's number 8. We both just looked it up, right? So that means that fight can be made. Ugas is a champ, like you just said. So that's not an easy fight to make. And if Ugas' price is the same as it was for Spence, Bob not gonna make it.
Whoa, brother, my brother.
Can't disavow Bob.
I'm not gonna cut you. I'm not gonna cut you off, but listen. It ain't about we can't get into it easy to make and all of that stuff. I just merely said that the fight with Ugas is a more reasonable fight than a fight with Boots. All the rest of that stuff I don't get into. I don't get into the politics about the background of okay, Bob say this fight won't happen, the money ain't on the table. I said the most reasonable and logical fight for TC to make is with Boots. Is with Ugas because Ugas has a title. That's all.
Okay, now can I cut back in?
Yeah, you can come back.
All right. If the fight can't realistically be made, then what you're saying is unreasonable. You can't disavow Bob. You can't disavow the numbers. All that is in the equation. We're not talking about hypothetical fights. We're talking about fights that can actually be made. Ugas versus Crawford is a hypothetical. Ugas versus Boots is a possibility.
Bro, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You said you just said Ugas versus Boots, or you meant Ugas versus Bud? I mean,
right.
Boots versus Bud is what you're saying is a possibility.
Right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Dreeko.
Why are you so hell bent on TC fighting Boots instead of unifying, bro? Like, come on, let's make it make sense.
I'm hell bent on Crawford fighting anybody. Anybody besides Josepito Lopez.
Well, we got word from the Crawford camp that that's fake news today, so we can't use that.
See, that's what he be doing. He be throwing that in there. We're gonna stick to Ugas. We're gonna stick to Ugas. We're gonna stick to Boots, and we're gonna stick to TC. And what I'm saying is, the most logical fight to make will be TC versus Ugas, bro, to unify. He can't keep fighting nobody's. He can't fight nobody. You can't. You listen. You can't say that because Bob is out of the picture in what 3 to 4 more months. So we're saying 90 days. Bob will be out of the picture. So we're not going to even mention Bob, bro.
Okay,
we're saying the most logical. Thing. We're saying the most logical fight to make between the two.
On paper, not realistically.
No, in your mind, in your little brain that you got up there.
You guys are
it's
crazy.
More logical to make the fight between Ugas and TC. Because Boots has absolutely nothing to offer TC in this thing. TC will
Okay.
actually be
He
going
does. He
backwards
does. He
if he
does have
fought.
something. But he does have something to offer him.
TC will be going backwards if he fought Boots. Do we
Okay, so
agree
if
on
that's
that?
the point, right? If that's the case, right? How come Bob didn't make an offer when Ugas met with him? Ugas had a belt then.
What you mean?
Ugas had a belt last
I
year.
don't listen. I don't listen. That right there, I'm saying as of right now, it'd be more feasible and more reasonable and logical. And I want you to get this through your thick, greasy skull. This would be more reasonable and more logical. You could more reasonable and more logical for TC to fight Ugas and unify with Ugas rather than reach down and fight a more dangerous, a younger, a more stronger, powerful, bigger Boots. You see what I'm getting at here now?
I
Right.
understand what you're saying. Listen, on
Okay.
paper, it makes sense. But in reality of what's been going on in boxing and what we know about boxing, that fight ain't happening.
Okay, so real quick. So I'm gonna interject real quick because I think both. I understand both of y'all points. So I just want to go through the chat real quick to acknowledge everyone who's tuning in and supporting.
Absolutely.
Salute to my brother Monty Brown. He
Yo,
says
Monty, what's up,
salute to
baby?
you guys. Salute to my brother Brandon Walker. He says Crawford not fighting nobody from PBC until he signs with them. 60, 40, 50, 50 don't mean absolutely nothing at all. Y'all are debating something that don't make sense. Okay.
That's what I said.
Chris Kennedy says the money for Boots is on the table. Boots said he'll take 1 million that Porter don't want.
That's what I told. That's what I told you in the background. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up, and I don't want to cut you off, and we got to pay the commercial,
But
which
you
is
cut me off. You tell me you don't want to cut me off, but you cut me off. Let me get through these
go
and,
ahead,
and keep
go
that,
ahead,
keep that,
go
keep
ahead,
that, keep
moderator.
that on the membrane. Keep that on the
Go ahead,
membrane.
go ahead, moderator.
Salute to KP from KC5. Salute to you, my good brother. He says his name is Jesse Cito. Bob Arum is the Brian Williams of boxing. These comments are pretty fucking funny. No, he didn't. Ugas was just gifted the belt in February. I'm not sure who that is. That could be Latique. Clarence McLean says TC versus Ugas. I agree. I've been said that the Porter fight seems to be out of the window. Okay. Chris Kennedy says sounds like an easy road Dreeko. Man, these guys have beat up that easy road comment, man. He never had a dangerous fight yet, Dreeko. I guess KP from KC5. He's talking about. He got to be talking about Bud. The man is on a NAIA schedule. Step that soft shit up, Dreeko. Brusco, salute to the family at Loyal to the Game Boxing in the panel. Salute to you too, Brusco. We appreciate you tuning in. John Hunt says Crawford needs to fight somebody. He don't always fight for a belt. I blame Bob. Tyra Melvin says that belt is about to be lifted from Ugas. Pac would definitely be defending that title against Spencer. Everything is hypothetical at this point. Good point.
Tyrone Melvin. You're absolutely wrong, Tyrone Melvin. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're gonna give Ugas the super
He has a
No,
super.
and
He
Manny
has
the
a super.
no,
regular, or Manny the
no.
regular, or Ugas the super. I don't know which one it is. I just sent you that in the inbox. Don't play on here. Don't you get on here playing with me, Kyron. Listen.
Listen.
Manny's gonna
Also,
get his belt
Kyron
back.
said this. Kyron
What?
said this. I bet
Okay.
Kyron $500 to his $100 that he says that
Porter was never offered nothing.
Porter was never offered nothing.
That's
You
according
gonna
to
pay?
that's according to Kenny Porter. That's what he said.
Right,
That's what
right.
Kenny Porter
That's what
said.
he said.
Secondly, Dreeko, to piggyback of your response to Tyrone Melvin, the president of the WBA said it's highly likely that Manny's getting the super title back for this fight. That's from the president of the WBA.
But aren't they awarding Ugas the other one, the regular then, right?
He already,
If
that's
I'm
what
not
he had. Well, you got to think.
okay.
Ugas had the regular. already,
So
and then he got
Ugas has a title, right?
he had the regular, and then they gave him Manny Super and put Manny in recess, but now they're stating that there's a very high probability, and this is coming from the president of the WBA. So I'm going to listen to him because he's the president of the WBA, saying that
Absolutely.
this fight against Spence is Manny's most likely going to get his title back.
Kwame.
Well, of course, Al has paid that money. Al is greasing palms around.
Stop, because you know that Bob was already putting that in motion when he thought he was going to beat Crawford.
Facts.
Bob already said he was going to help you do that.
Facts. And you know about that, Dreeko. Facts.
See, y'all jumping me. Moderator.
No, we're not. I'm just saying, bitch. That's facts. You know about that. That's facts. I'm going to be neutral because there's plenty of things you said today that I agree with, Dreeko. So now we're gonna get through this. Go ahead.
Okay. Now last year when Vesputin got stripped, another Bob fighter.
Who?
Vesputin. He got stripped.
We're not talking about no goddamn Vesputin.
That's when Ugas got the belt. So Ugas had a belt last year when he was calling Crawford out. Okay. And Bob didn't make the fight.
Salute to you, Leon Robinson. Salute to you, brother.
Yeah. Salute, Leon. See, I'm not getting into all of that.
But this year, the number then went up a whole lot more. So if he couldn't make the fight when you could have gave Ugas peanuts, he's not going to make the fight now when Ugas want half.
That's not what I'm talking about here, bro. Listen to what I'm saying here. I'm saying right now, if you line Boots up and you line Ugas up,
Ugas won't want a whole lot more.
He would. I don't care about that shit. I don't care about money. If you line
but the money's how the fights get made.
I know the business. Listen, baby, I make $150,000 deals a day, so I know what the bottom line. I know bottom line, baby. And before that, I was on the street, so I know what the bottom line is. You get what I'm saying? The bottom line is the money. We all know that's what moved this whole situation here. We know all of that business part of it. I'm saying, relax on the business part. Let's talk this common sense shit here. The common sense part says you go after Ugas and you make this.
You make this boxing fights without the money. Period.
You make this Ugas fight work no matter what the price is because you don't have time to play with Spence because Spence is collecting belts now, bro. So you don't have time to be playing around with a dangerous Boots down there with nothing when Boots has nothing to offer you as far as hardware, bro. You can't be playing with a Boots. So you got to go to Ugas and you got to say, listen, Ugas, we got to get this fight made. What do you want? I'm going to offer you this, that, and the third. We got to get this fight made. I don't care who say, what Bob or whoever say, for TC's best interest, he has to get that Ugas fight so he can have something to bargain with because I got a feeling him and Spence is going to meet up. They're going to meet up.
So check this out, right? Top Rank don't care about his best interest. Neither do ESPN.
How do you know? You can't. Come on, man. See?
The proof is in the pudding. He's sitting home on the shelf with no fights indefinitely. That's the pudding. That's the proof right there.
But we not.
But who is he fighting next?
I don't. It's in limbo. I don't know who he's fighting next.
He's in limbo.
That's why me and you are on here so we can say, listen, if his most reasonable and best fight or best choice would be Ugas.
His best choice was to fight Porter. That was his best choice. Period.
What does Porter? But listen, think about it, bro. What does Porter have to offer now?
The $350K buys that he got with Spence.
That's the wrong. See, you playing checkers. See,
no,
that's what's wrong with you black folks now. You're playing playing pity pat. That's what you're playing. I don't know.
First of all, put your finger down.
Salute to Christopher Kenny.
Put your finger down.
No, you playing pity pat. You playing pity pat right now, bro. Because if he was when the business part comes, he's got to collect some hardware, bro.
Okay, all right. We got to have some parity where there's no interrupting because we want to hear both arguments. So, Kyron, I'm gonna let you go. But what I'm gonna do right now to keep the chat interactive.
I'm a mute.
No, I don't need you. No, we don't need to mute you. No, don't, Dreeko. Your internet is great. We don't need to mute you today.
Oh, okay.
everyone in the chat, if you are in favor of what Dreeko is saying, press 1. If you're in favor of what Kyron is saying, press 2.
Can I go now, Kwame?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. First of all, after Spence and Porter was still hot. That's why Bob made him the mandatory. Because prior to that, he wasn't even ranked by the WBO. All right? Bob put him there for a reason. When Crawford got to talking that French shit, that's when Porter moved from number 6 to number 1 within 2 months. That's the fight that everybody wants. That's the fight that will give him pay-per-view numbers. That's the fight he needs.
Leon Robinson, you a hater. Did Leon Robinson, who is 2? Who is 2 and who is 1?
You won.
Leon Robinson, you a hater. If you sit on here and you say, and you listening to this yellow hat, and you saying that, but thank you, Money Brown, and you saying that fighting boots are most dangerous, young, strong, bigger opponent with nothing to offer, rather than unify with a Ugas, and Spencer's over here making rounds and getting all these belts, and you say you agree with that? He should fight.
Well, first off, Dreeko, we can't attack the chat for their opinion.
I'm attacking everybody.
Listen, well, we can't.
I got my Mossberg out.
We can't because first of all, Chris McKinney says he agreed with both. We also have Will Murphy says both. Will Murphy also says y'all both are making valid points. So
Chris, we ain't buying that bullshit. You strap the fence. You agree.
Dreeko, that's what I'm saying.
Now I'm gonna address it to you.
Hold on. I agree.
On paper, the Ugas fight sound better, but that fight is not gonna and can't get made.
All right, and I'm gonna interject real quick. So both you guys are making really good points, and here's what I see. Right, here's what I see. Dreeko, you're correct in your assessment of Terrence Crawford going after Ugas to get the belt, because I see what you're saying, because if he gets another belt, then he'll have some more leverage, and getting the fight that everyone wants to see with Errol Spence, it would be more reasonable and it'll help him out. But we also have to look at, which is a good point that Kyron is making, is that Bob Arum just said that ESPN. But this is what Bob Arum said. How you can't? This is who makes his fights, right? Because I want you to think about this, Dreeko, because you can't dismiss what Bob Arum is saying, because if it was what Terrence Crawford wants to do, then he'd be fighting now.
When Bob Arum is finally out the picture, who y'all gonna blame then? I'll be glad when Bob Arum gets out the picture, because y'all be saying Bob Arum.
But that's like saying if the police was out of the black neighborhood, who you gonna blame? They're there.
He got
like Bob Arum is there.
Y'all got 90 more days to blame Bob Arum.
We don't know that. I mean, he was signed with him before. We have to see how this all plays out. Now, I would say the other thing is the fact that I see Kyron's point with making that fight, because with Boots, only because of what has been said, and what has been said from Arum is that with the Porter fight, ESPN didn't want to come up off any money, and he talked out both sides of his mouth, because at first he said that it wasn't a big fight. Then he said it was a big fight in his last statement a couple of weeks ago, but ESPN doesn't want to really come up a lot of money because he's not a pay-per-view. Crawford is not a pay-per-view. He doesn't sell pay-per-views, I think was his words. So I think what Kyron is saying is that based off the fact that that's where they're at, and while Crawford's on the shelf right now, it doesn't have a fight, that the $1 million that allegedly was offered or not offered to Porter would make sense to give it to make a fight with Boots because of this current time. Because as of right now, there's no fight being announced for Crawford at all, and if we know it's not going to be Ugas, and also Boots is not signed to PBC.
I like how you clean that up for him, but the fact still remains. and we're not talking about on the shelf, but good try to clean it up for him, Kwame. What we're saying
Okay.
is on the shelf has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. We're talking about as of right now,
Right. Well, he's on the shelf as of right
TC,
now.
TC, TC's the most reasonable. See, now you're being biased. See the
No,
whole,
I'm not,
see,
how am I being biased? Is he on this? All right. Does he have
right,
a? Does he have a fight? Does he
right.
have a? Does Terrence Crawford have an announced opponent yet?
But we're
Because
not talking. That's not the topic.
no, because you're saying I'm saying he's on the shelf. He said being biased. So what I like to do is I like to deal with facts. All right. Is it a
That's
fact
not the
that?
topic.
Hold on a second. Hold on, because I'm addressing your comment. So is it a fact that Terrence Crawford's fight against Kell Brook, which was his last fight, with his 4th round knockout against Kell Brook, was that fight scheduled before Errol Spence and Danny Garcia? Yes, it was. It was scheduled between. I'll answer it.
I told him bring
Okay.
you.
One second though. 1 second. Daddy daycare. This nigga running daddy daycare over here to the house. What is he doing? You okay? Listen, I want to address Justin Davis. Justin Davis said I was clowning Spence when he was chasing Ugas for a belt. He said I was. I never clowned Spence for chasing Ugas for a belt because I want Spence to unify, bro. I'm actually a Spence fan, bro. Do you know I actually picked Spence to beat TC? Did y'all know that? Okay,
Yeah.
then. Now we got
All
that
right.
out the way. Okay, we got that out the way.
Yeah, let's not get sidetracked. So
Yeah.
the facts are Terrence Crawford fought Kell Brook before Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia, right? So Errol Spence has a fight that's been announced again, and Terrence Crawford currently has no one on the horizon, no announcements to be made, right? So technically that means he's on the shelf. So that's not a hypothetical. Like technically right now, he's on the shelf. So what we have to deal with is because this is one of the things that I noticed about this one.
That's a fact, but that's not the subject or the topic. Whether TC is on the shelf or not, that's not the topic. The topic here is Ugas or Boots. TC, you say Yellow Hat says he should fight Boots. I say
That's not what I said. I said he should fight Porter.
Well, why would he fight? Here we go. How the fuck Porter get in it?
Because you asked me what's the best fight for him. That's the best fight for him.
But we're talking about. Listen, bro. I know it's hard for you.
No.
But we're gonna talk about. Listen. We're gonna talk about.
Listen, I never said that the Enos fight was the best fight for him. What I said was that's a hypothetical for him to go after Ugas because it's not going to happen for a multitude of reasons. So that's
not what your argument is. That's not what your argument.
That could actually happen. He could actually fight Boots. He can't fight Ugas.
That's not what your side was. See, we talked about this earlier. See, now you jumping shit.
You keep trying to tell me what I said.
You said that we talking about Spence. We talking about Ugas. We talking about TC, and we talking about Boots, right? Period. Okay.
Which one is a cheaper fight to make?
What you mean?
Which one is a cheaper fight to make? The Boots or the Ugas fight for Crawford?
We don't know because Ugas ain't been.
We all know.
How do we know?
Because if Ugas wanted half from Spence, he's going to want half from Crawford. That's how we know it's cheaper.
You don't know that, bro. You talking about me speaking hypothetical? That's just a hypothetical.
Well, to be fair, Dreeko, because I'm just playing moderator here. To be fair, if Ugas is a world champion right now, he's gonna demand more money than Jaron Buzenis if they fight in a negotiation. That's just basic. You're not gonna pay a world champion what you're gonna pay the number 8 guy in the WBO.
I'm not gonna get into the money aspect of it. My thing is this: if you line those two fighters up, TC has to fight Ugas right now, bro. He has to fight Ugas. I don't care about the money. I don't care about none of that sideshow Bob. TC has to make this fight with Ugas. If he don't, Spence is running through collecting belts, bro. He cannot take the chance of fighting the Boots. He cannot take the chance of fighting a Porter who has nothing to offer. I don't care if Porter want to fight him for $1, bro. He cannot afford to fight a dangerous Porter. He cannot afford to fight a dangerous a dangerous Boots before he gets another title, and that's his only bargaining chip before he gets to Spence. That's just it
Shalom,
right there,
brother.
bro.
Shalom. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So here's let me go through the some more of the comments in the chat. So again, Leon went with 2. We saw that before. Monty went with 1. Will Murphy says you made some valid. Both of you guys are making valid points, which I agree with. Bruce, Mad Chad says Bruce goes GOAT. I don't know what that is. Leon Robinson says you hating on him. I agree with that because the man just shared his opinion. You jumped down his throat. Kel Brooks had nothing to offer. John Hunt. Frederick, salute to my brother Frederick Fernando Dixon. At this point, all Boots can offer Bud is an elf. Oh, gosh, buddy. I'm actually both, but 2 sounds good as fuck to me. That's fair. Dreeko, you are making valid points, and I see what you're saying, and I understand your point of view. But I'm gonna give you an honest. I hate using this word because so many people use this word, they don't even really know what it means. It's just like a fan bias. I'm going to give you an honest, unbiased opinion on this. Both of you guys make great points. Dreeko, I understand your point of view with making the Ugas fight, which makes a lot of sense because I see what you're talking about in terms of Spencer collecting all these belts. But what I'm also noticing is that I see this a lot with. I'm not going to call you a Bud fan, right? Because I think you just try to play. I think you're just trying to play devil's advocate because you feel as if here in loyalty to the game, we are pro Spence, and we don't hide that here. I mean, it is what it is.
We got to keep it level though. We got to be a fan.
And I know that's what your objective is just to, slide the scale a little bit more in the other direction because sometimes it can get a little crazy over here. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. However, one of the things that I notice about a lot of people who support Bud's argument is they don't want to deal with reality. Right. Like what is actually like Bob. So Bob says that the Porter fight, this is a statement he released, that it's a big fight, but ESPN don't want to come up off the money, and he's not going to come up off the money. So that says that there's financial issues, right? Because it's like basically we went into this analogy before with the whole cartel. The cartel they're not giving up no dough for the fight.
This sounds one-sided. This sounds one-sided.
This sounds one-sided. I said
this sounds one-sided.
I said
because now we getting in the point where you going to the left and you saying, well, Bob ain't really good putting the money up.
What I'm saying to you is this: in a perfect, your argument is great in a perfect world. And why people agree with your points? Like Monty says, he agree with you because Ugas actually does have more to offer. That is correct. So I'm not being one-sided. I'm agreeing with you on that. But that is a perfect world situation. Buck Crawford, business-wise right now with Bob Arum, ESPN is not a perfect world situation. That the reason why he has to chase, you're saying that he should get Ugas is because he doesn't have a perfect world situation. He's not getting fights that should be made for him at this point. So that's the thing. So what we have to do.
I like how you cleaning it up for Kyron. I'm not cleaning it up.
I'm just keeping
you paint the narrative. You paint the narrative, and I'm trying to get Kyron in the corner, and you opening the door for him to go through the back. You see what I'm saying? I can't corner Kyron the way I want to corner him.
I see. Okay. I see what's going on. Karan, I see what's going on. You're not allowed. I understand. You can't make sense when you're debating against someone who's defended Bud. If you make sense, it's a problem. I'm starting to see it now.
No.
listen. You want to make fights, right? But you want to take out the promoter. You want to take out the money. And
Right.
say, that's bullshit.
Right.
That's not how it works.
No. That's not.
No.
Listen.
It's not how it works.
That's not what I said. If you hear me say,
budget, listen,
bro.
ESPN's budget for Crawford, with ESPN's budget for Crawford, the only fight they can get is Enos or Lopez or somebody that's not going to want more than $1 million or maybe less.
But y'all is hiding behind Bob Arum, bro. Like, stop hiding behind Bob. Y'all got 90 days. Listen to me. Y'all got 90 days to finish hiding behind Bob.
Crawford ain't going nowhere without giving Bob a fight and taking that belt. You done lost your mind.
Y'all got 90 days to yell Bob's name. Then what are you gonna do when Bob is out of the picture? Y'all motherfuckers gonna be lost.
Have no belt. That's what's gonna happen.
Be lost. Who gonna take it? Certainly not
the
Spence.
WBO and Bob.
Who gonna take it?
Bob and the WBO.
No,
you
bro.
think he's not going to fight this year?
Back to the subject.
You think he's not going to fight this year at all? Ain't had a mandatory in 2 years. He's leaving Top Rank, and he's going to leave with that belt.
That's right, knockout boxing. I agree with knockout boxing. Listen, bro. All I'm saying is, and it's simple where I'm coming from. I'm not getting into all of that, Bob. We all know it takes money. We all know that boxing is a prize fight. We all know that. We're talking about from TC point of view, bro. From TC's point of view, it would be most logical and a better fight and a bargaining chip if he go after that belt from Ugas. Because
I'm not saying you're wrong about that.
Spence is going through here
wrong about that. But realistically, that fight ain't gonna happen.
Realistically, if he fight Boots, realistically, he's in trouble. Boots is bigger. Boots is stronger. Boots is probably faster. Hey, man, what else can I say, bro?
Listen,
leave Boots alone. Leave Boots alone right now.
Dreeko, realistically, I think he in trouble if he fight Thurman, Porter, Spence, or Boots.
Of course you do, but he's not.
You do too.
No, he's not. I want him to fight Spence. But my thing is, I want him to fight Spence. But my thing is, why risk something on a boxer that has nothing to offer you? If you don't have no hardware, or you don't, if you don't have
shit yet,
if you don't have no hardware, or you don't have nothing to offer TC at this point right here, don't fight no Boots, don't fight no Porter. And when I said that Porter, and when who is that?
So basically, Dreeko, what you're advocating for is him to duck Boots, because that's what it sounds like. Basically,
see, you're being biased.
I'm asking because basically it's like, okay, I'm telling him he shouldn't fight this guy because, but that's what you just said. So because
I might as well have Earl Spence up here commentating.
well, all I'm saying is that it sounds like you're advocating a duck right now. You're advocating for him to avoid someone. That's what it sounds like.
No. What I'm saying is,
this is to the chat. This is to the chat. To the chat.
Yeah.
If you agree that Dreeko sounds like he's advocating for Bud to duck Boots, press 1.
See,
oh wow.
See, you paint the narrative. See how I'm saying? Now I'm 2 against 1.
That's what you said.
I'm 2 against 1. I didn't listen here, brother. I'm fairly able to articulate what I want. Right? If I say duck, I'ma say TC better duck
Let me ask you this.
I'm gonna say that. I just said it's in TC's best interest not to fight Boots at this moment. Not now in his career, bro.
Who do you want to see him fight right now?
Who I want to see TC fight right now?
Well, listen, that's not a good question to ask Dreeko, because he's going to tell you someone like Spence, which we know is not going to happen.
No. Spence gotta fight. I'm gonna stick to the topic, unlike some people.
Answer the question. Answer the question right now.
Ugas. I'm sticking to the topic, bro. This is the topic that we on, right? I'd rather him fight Ugas right now, bro.
Cool.
You know why I want to see him fight Ugas?
So if Ugas
because
Thurman,
Ugas has a belt.
If Ugas fight Thurman next,
that's not the topic.
So here's my question. Here's my question to you, Dreeko. Do you want to see him? So Dreeko, do you want to see him fight Ugas because Ugas has a belt Oh, or
He has to
because
fight Ugas because
all
Ugas
right.
has a belt. He
But
has
at
to.
but at this point, right? Where it's been said, it's been stated by the president of WBA that Ugas is not going to have that belt. So
Whoever
with that,
whoever got a
because
belt.
right, but the reality of it is right. There's four belts. Crawford has one. Spence has two. Ugas has the other one, which has a very high probability stated by the WBA president that is going to Manny Pacquiao, and these two guys, Manny and Spence, are fighting. So my question now, so that takes the belt conversation out of the picture for his next fight right now.
I
Unless
like how you listen.
no,
I can't
I'm
even
just
attack. Wait a
you
minute. Let
can't
me
say
tell
I'm
you
just
something, Kwame. Let
stating
me
the
tell you
facts.
something, Kwame. You won't let me. You won't let me surround this wagon here because you keep opening up the back door for this cat. You see what I'm saying? Every
Oh
time I
my
set a trap, every time I set a trap for this nigga, you come on here and say, "Well, let me see,"
God.
and
I'm
you
just
opening up
trying
the
to,
back. You
bro.
open the back door up for him. You see what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm just
See, I don't got nobody on here opening up the back door for me. You see what I'm
listen.
saying?
If
I'm
you
Brooklyn.
listen, I got your back. You're my co-host. So if you say something that makes sense, I'm gonna go with that. My only thing is I'm just trying to make sense of everything that's being said. And I'm trying to also clarify that for the chat because the chat is very interactive. So
Absolute.
you're saying,
Speaking of the chat, speaking of the chat, Frederick Fernando Dixon, you are absolutely correct. If Boots make a mistake and loses, that's it. He might as well retire. Frederick
But they all
Fernando
make that.
Dixon,
They all take
you
their
said that
chance every time they get in the ring. They all
you
take their
you
right,
you
chance.
right.
you said it correctly.
I
But
don't think so because if you think about all right, I disagree with that statement based on what I've seen with Jamel Charlo
no,
and
you
Erickson
can't
Lubin.
disagree with it. He has to disagree with it. See what I'm saying? See, you're just a
I mean,
neutral.
am I not allowed to speak? I give an opinion. It's
You a
hard for me to shut
moderator.
my brain off.
You're supposed to be neutral. You're a moderator. If
I am
he is a
being neutral.
so why you
I'm
disagreeing? Why you disagreeing with what I'm saying?
Because you're wrong.
they said
Because you're wrong.
they're calling for your step nephew to come help you out. You see this?
I listen, it's two against one. It's two against one, John Hunt. Who you hunting?
All right, well,
It's
listen.
gonna
All right,
always sound
listen.
like this,
Listen.
but I'm making a valid point. There's nothing that they can say that makes a more valid point than a person unifying a title rather than going down and getting a person that has nothing to offer. So nobody can tell me on this panel or in these posts or in these comments can tell me that makes sense to me rather than unifying a title is fighting a number 8 contender is more than unifying a title. There's nothing more nobody's
Okay, but
supposed to
that
say.
was the point. Hold up,
Right.
Kwame.
Go ahead,
Hold up,
Cora.
Kwame.
Uh-huh.
I never said that my point was the Ugas fight is a hypothetical. Just like most of your argument is a hypothetical. If you want to take out the money, you want to take out the manager and the promoter that won't make his fights.
Bro,
But all
just
of a
for
sudden, you're
you,
supposed to
we're
say,
gonna put the money in it.
I
We're
never
gonna put the
interrupted you.
money in it.
I never
Just
interrupted
for
you.
you.
Put your finger down.
Just for you with
Put
your
your finger down.
hypothetical ass.
Put
We're
your
gonna
finger
put the
down.
money in it.
Put your finger down.
Because that's
You want
no,
you're saying, what you're saying is Bob is going to give motherfucking Ugas $3.5 to $4 million to
here go
fight
Bob
Crawford
again.
right now.
Here go Bob again.
If that's the
Bro,
fight he needs
ain't
now, then that's
nobody
the promoter
listen.
he's using now.
Bob ain't no
If that's the fight he needs now, then that's the promoter he's using now. So that's who needs to make that fight, right?
bro. Ain't nobody thinking about
Oh,
Bob.
so you
You
think,
think TC thinking about
Ugas
Bob?
is going to
Boy,
wait?
listen.
So you think Ugas is going to wait until Crawford's contract is he gets a new promoter, then they make that fight. That's what you're suggesting.
Listen, I'm not suggesting nothing. If I suggest it, I'm gonna say it, bro. I'm articulate, bro. Whatever I'm saying, I can
All right.
articulate myself. I got no problem with it. What I'm telling you
So is that
is
how you see
stop
that
bringing Bob.
happening?
What I'm saying is stop bringing Bob into this, bro. Bob is not in this. Bob got 90 days. You think TC worried
Bob is
about Bob?
always in
This nigga,
this.
this nigga TC is in
Bob is the reason. Listen,
in.
check this out. Check this out, right?
But
Listen, let me
wait
say
a
this
minute,
to you
bro.
one time, right? No.
Go ahead.
You keep talking about exclude Bob. Bob is the reason he can't get them fights. Bob
Right.
is the sole reason he can't get them fights.
What I said was Bob has
Bob,
got 90 days.
no.
Y'all got 90
You keep
days to
trying to
hide
interrupt
behind
me.
Bob, bro.
Stop. I don't
Y'all,
do that to you. I let you
Go
talk.
ahead.
I let you talk for 5-10 minutes. I ain't say nothing. Bob is the reason none of them fights has happened. Bob's ego and Bob's attitude towards PBC is what has stopped Crawford his entire career. But now all of a sudden you want to exclude Bob, don't mention the money, and talk about dream fights. And that's what I told you earlier. You're talking hypotheticals. You don't talk about facts. You don't talk about reality. You don't talk about fights that can actually be made now. That's what I'm talking about. Boots is a cheap fight. Porter's not a cheap fight. Neither is Ugas, because Ugas is going to price himself out. He's not going to want less from Crawford than he wanted from Spence. If he still got a belt, as you say, if he wanted half from him, he don't want half from him, which means Bob got to pay him at least $4 million. And Ugas ain't even a $4 million fighter right now.
Facts.
All right.
How's that a fact? And that's hypothetical, bro. You don't know what Ugas is. You don't know what Ugas is. Listen,
isn't a $4 million
no, that's not a fact, bro. Because they not even had negotiation. So how can you say something is a fact by saying, well, Ugas is gonna win $4 million? Ugas is gonna Ugas is gonna want $4 million. Fact? No,
I'm not saying that he's not gonna want $4 million. I'm saying I'm agreeing with Kyron saying he's not a $4 million. He's not worth $4 million for half of a purse for a fight.
Of course,
and the reason let me finish because I back up my statements. I back up my statements with reasoning. And the reason I say that is because the entire boxing world before this Manny Pacquiao Earl Spence fight was announced was kept joking and laughing and saying that if Spence fought Ugas, even when he had the title, it wasn't good enough to be on pay-per-view. It should be on Fox for free. Everyone was saying that. So that goes to show you that most of the boxing world doesn't agree that he's a fighter who should be getting $4 million, because if that's true, then they would say it would be no problem for him to have fought on pay-per-view against Spence. Everyone was saying that fight should not be on pay-per-view and they're not going to pay for it because it's not a pay-per-view fight. So that's why I'm saying he's not a $4 million fighter.
Kwame, do you see Ugas asking for less from Bob than he wanted from Spence?
Oh, absolutely not. Because if he's got, why would he do that? Why would he leave PBC and go where he knows that it's a high probability that he could just straight up lose to Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford is better than Ugas, and then two.
So wait a minute. Hold on, Kwame. Did you just ask Kwame to explain why this? And me and you supposed to be debating, and you asked Kwame to explain.
I asked him his
Hold on, nigga. You explain why.
What's up with your finger?
No, nigga, you explain. You explain why. You explain to me and the post and the people in the chat why.
What's up with your finger?
That's
your
logical.
Hands down. Put your hands down,
nigga.
Listen, I'm from Philly. We don't play that shit. Put your hands down.
Where you from? Where Philly at?
Camera. Put your hands down.
Where Philly at?
Down.
Where's Philly?
I'm right here, not far from New York.
Nigga.
That's where Philly at.
I never heard of Philly. Listen.
Yeah, all right.
You listen.
All right.
And you asking Kwame to defend a debate that you got on, and Kwame is defending you on it. Let's keep it 100. If you got a point, listen, bro. I don't got nobody on here to defend me. I don't got nobody on here to say and ask a question. If I got a point, I'm articulate enough to say what I feel and to articulate how I feel. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to ask Kwame to articulate for me or to then and approve what I'm saying, bro. You see what I'm saying? You from Philly? Stand on your own, bro. It's Brooklyn in the house now, bro. It's 1-on-1. Let's get it.
You're wrong.
What are you talking about,
That's
bro?
You hate on everybody.
And nigga, for the record, nigga, you lower your motherfucking tone and short your sentences, nigga. When you talking this Dreeko, nigga. What's wrong with you, nigga? Talking about you from Philly, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you talking about, nigga.
All right,
let's go on with the debate.
Don't play them games.
Shit, talk about you from Philly, nigga.
Don't play them games.
All right, look. All right, so look. Again, when I state what I'm stating, I'm just stating it to clarify y'all points. So because a lot of times the back and forth, the actual facts of the argument could be lost because it's entertaining to go back and forth. So I'm not helping Kyron out by articulating. I'm just articulating for the chat, and I'm doing the same for you. So
but you back doing Kyron though. You ain't letting him circle the wagon.
No. I'm
Listen,
trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it fair.
Hold on, this is what you don't understand, Dreeko. Me and Kwame talk. I've never changed my opinion or my facts about Crawford. You know what I mean? I think his resume is weak everywhere. All right.
You think who's weak?
Unified in a weak division. You know what I mean? Listen.
We can agree with that.
I think he's a good fighter, but I think his resume is smoke and mirrors.
You can say smoke and mirrors, bro, but you can't take away what his resume is. You can't take away who TC is, bro. He's still the unified at 140 champion. He's still a champion at 47. He still moved up 3 weight classes. He's still arguably number 1, number 2, top 5 pound for pound. You can't take away from who TC is, bro. Listen.
When he leaves top rank, he's going to drop from them rankings. I promise you.
Yeah,
those rankings are brought and paid for.
No, bro, because you know what it all boils down to?
Bob paid for them rankings. Why you think most of his fighters are in the top 5?
He don't have to pay for those, bro. He don't have to pay for those rankings, bro. TC is who he is. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Let me tell you this. Whatever they listen, whatever. Let's say this, right? TC is who he is based off his skills and ability. However, with the media, it's what Bob says, because if you notice, TC is the best thing since sliced bread, and then right after he fought Brook, the same people who report for Bob, Mike Coppinger and from the Athletic and all that, they talk shit about him in the media. So I think the point that is trying to be made is things can change in an instant. The media can turn on you in an instant, because you notice when Bud made that comment about Canelo not fighting black fighters, how those same guys came right up and started talking about the last black fighter he fought was Hank Lundy, and these are the same guys. So, I think it's just fair to say that there's a lot of bullshit behind rankings and opinions, because we know one day in the media you could be loved to be the best fighter in the world, and then who knows, he could leave top rank and then they start talking shit. Look at what De La Hoya just did to Canelo. Just said how bad he is, his chin is always up and all this other shit. But when Canelo was over there for Golden Boy making all of that money, he was the best thing ever in the world. And Canelo has a lot more to stand on in terms of his popularity and what he's also accomplished in the sport of boxing. But I digress.
That's good. And that's on the promotional side. Now we're dipping into the promotional side of things. So when you say all that, I see people in the chat saying, okay, he did all that and got all them accolades, and people still don't know him. He still don't fill his seats. It's because of promotion, bro. Now when he leaves there, I'm pretty sure the first thing that and gets a new management company, when TC leaves and get a new management company, I'm pretty sure the first thing that they're gonna do is promote who TC is, and promote all his accolades and awards. You know what I mean? So all of the rest of that stuff, man, and the money's gonna start coming in. There's no way that TC should be in the position that he is in now, bro. You know what I mean? There's no way that he should be able to pack a stadium.
Disagreed on. That's another thing we disagreed on, because I told you, it was level of opposition is what's keeping him from being really famous and known. Nobody's going to pay and see him, watch him fight bums. Until he starts fighting the people he's supposed to be fighting, nobody's interested. Just like he's sitting on the bench now, and nobody really can fight nobody anyhow.
No, I disagree with that, and you're right. I disagree with it's the opposition, bro. I think it's all about promotion, because, like I told you behind the scenes, who has Tank Davis fought? Who has Ryan Garcia fought? And those guys are rock stars in their divisions, bro. So it's not about the opposition. It's about how you promote it. You see what I'm saying? Because those two guys have a poor resume, but yet and still they walking around here like rock stars. You
They
know what
don't
I'm
have
saying?
poor
So you
resumes.
can't
They both
say
undefeated.
you.
They're both undefeated. They
So
don't
is
have poor
TC, bro.
resumes.
So yes, they do.
Right,
Yes, they do. Yes,
he's
they
been in
do.
the
Tank
game
has
a
a
lot
poor
longer.
resume. No,
Listen,
Tank has a
think about
poor.
what you said.
Tank. Tank
Listen.
has a poor resume. No, nigga, you think about what I said. Tank has a
Nigga, my name is
poor
Mr.
resume.
Johnson. My name
Tank
is
has a
not nigga.
Tank
My name
has
is Mr.
nigga.
Johnson. My name
Tank,
is Mr. Johnson.
come on,
If
man.
you
We're
want
gonna
to
talk
talk
about this
about
debate, man.
Mr.
First you
Johnson.
said you from Philly. First you want to fight or you want to
Yeah,
debate.
but you're not gonna point your finger at me and call me a nigga. What's wrong with you?
Okay,
What's wrong with
Johnson.
you?
Let's just keep it simple. If the brother wants to be called by his name, call the brother by his name. He'll do the same for you.
Johnson.
Like you getting
Well,
borderline
don't be
disrespectful.
listen, bro. Don't be coming on here talking about you from Philly, bro. Don't do that to me,
See,
bro.
there
I
you
don't
go
know
with
who
that
you think
finger
you're
shit
talking to.
again.
No.
Put your goddamn
Listen, bro.
hands
Don't tell
down.
me what to do, bro. Don't tell me what to do. You know what I mean? Now, come on. We're going to keep it cool. We're going to keep it straight. You act like I got my finger on your nose, bro. We're going to keep it cool. We're
Yeah,
going to keep
but
it
the way
collective,
you
bro.
pointed at me, yeah, you talking to
We're going to
me,
keep it
pointing your
cool. We're
finger
going
at
to
me.
keep it. We're
Yeah.
going to keep it cool. We're going to
Listen. Listen.
Come on,
You
man.
pointing
Listen,
your finger
like
at
I
me, you
said,
talking to me.
back to the
So it's like
topic.
you pointed at my nose. Yeah,
Back to
that's
the
how I'm
topic.
taking that.
Back to the. I don't give a fuck how you taking it, nigga. What you mean? What are you talking about, man?
Look,
What you
I'm
want to
talking
do,
about what
man?
you're
at
talking
some
about.
point, listen. All right.
No, man. What you want to do, bro? What you talking about?
See, there you go with the finger again.
Listen,
No,
let's
but
not.
what you?
Listen, there has
What
to
this
be a
nigga
point.
talking about, man?
Hold on. There has to be a point in time where black people can have a debate and it don't have to turn out to be something violent or ignorant.
Well,
What the
Let's
fuck you
like,
just,
talking about? Don't point
let's
my finger at a screen, nigga.
guys,
I don't
What is you talking about?
There you go with the
Don't
finger
point.
again.
Don't point my finger at a screen, man. You lost your mind, man. You know who you talking to? Come on, man. Now
Yeah,
let's
talking to
debate, man.
Dreeko.
Let's debate, man, and let me get it off and be quiet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now back to what
All
I'm
right, but I
saying,
don't
man.
call you
It
nigga
all
though.
goes.
That's
It
what I'm
all goes to.
saying.
It
I don't
all
call
goes
you
to.
nigga.
It
You
all
get
goes to
hype, you gonna be
promotion.
disrespectful. I don't
It
do that
all
to you.
goes. It all goes to promotion because your point is invalid, bro. Because promotion does this, man. This is what it is. Like I said, Tank and Ryan Garcia are rock stars, minus all of the accolades. They have nothing, bro.
What are their
They're
records?
rock stars.
What are their
They're
records, though?
rock
What
stars,
are their
bro.
records?
So that's
What are
because
their
they're
records?
promoted. It's because of how,
What are
it's
their records?
it's because how they're promoted, bro. Now TC
No,
has
it's not.
way more accolades than those guys right there. If properly promoted, TC can be through the roof, dog. TC can be a rock star, man. It's properly promoted.
I have to agree with Dreeko
I'm,
on this point. I have to agree with Dreeko
I'm
on
not
this
saying
point.
promotion. Listen. I'm not saying that promotion isn't important, but promotion isn't more important than level of opposition. Who you fighting is more important than being promoted.
It's
Because you get promoted
25%.
fighting
The
bums, but you
opposition.
still fight bums.
I think that both of those play a part in that.
The
But to Dreeko,
opposition is
but
25%.
but to Dreeko's point, and why I lean towards Dreeko in this is because he backed it up with some points. Tank's a level of opposition. Yeah, he did fight Leo Santa Cruz on a pay per view first, but we all know that Tank hasn't fought anyone that we haven't thought he isn't going to beat yet. He is more popular than Terrence Crawford at this point. Not saying he's not a better fighter than he is. And Terrence Crawford also is undefeated as well. So I have to lean on the promotion side. You know, and I have to blame
but the thing is this though. Hey, listen. The thing is this: if Tank and Ryan wasn't knocking dudes out, then they wouldn't be that popular. Now,
That's an if, bro.
Tank
You
got
can't
more.
say if.
Tank got more than just Santa Cruz on his record. He took the title from Pedrosa. He done fought some tough dudes.
right.
He ain't fought Cody and them, you know, but he's fought better people than them, and he has a higher knockout rate than them.
True,
Now,
but
Ryan,
Mr. Johnson.
Terrence Crawford also has been knocking everyone out basically since 2016. So again, it's like, okay, Tank has all those knockouts. Terrence Crawford has a whole bunch of knockouts as well. And Terrence Crawford is as exciting as well. So I have to lean towards the promotion side, and look at Tank is connected to Floyd Mayweather, so that like by default helps him out so much. Where for instance, if we remember the Benavidez fight or even the Kell Brook fight, we didn't see any promotion for the fight. The only reason those fights did well is because they were on ESPN. We don't, so I have to agree with the promotion side more than the opposition. I think the promotion plays a big. I think they both play a huge part, but I believe based on today and the fact that the biggest fans of boxing, I won't say the biggest fans of boxing, but the people who buy or sell the most pay-per-views, it ain't really the boxing fans. Look at Floyd's fighting Logan Paul. It ain't about the opposition. It's about promotion. He fighting Logan Paul today. He about to make 9 figures.
Take Adrian Broner for instance.
That's a different scenario, though.
Adrian Broner you're gonna watch Adrian Broner. He cleans up, bro. He's a marketing genius, man. So it's all about promotion and marketing with these fighters. I say it's 25% the opponent, bro. Because some fighters like Mayweather, like Kwame was alluding to, Mayweather can fight anybody, and you're gonna tune in, and he's gonna get his $100 million. So it's all about marketing and promotion.
He's a popular fighter.
You said it was the opponents.
Based on his fights.
You just said it's based on the opponents, bro. Now you're saying that Mayweather. See how
I
you
didn't
be
say
jumping?
the whole thing is based on opponents. I said it's more important than promotion.
No, it's not. The opponents got nothing to do. The opponents has nothing to do with how well known a fighter is. The opponent thing is the opponent that a fighter face is like 25% of the marketing, bro. The 75% is that them press conferences, is how that fella talk, is how the public perceive him and how the public likes him. It's not who he fights, bro. That's like 25%.
Or in Mayweather and Broner's case, dislike them.
Right, or dislike them, bro. It has nothing to do with the opponents. Opponents is only a small fraction of what these people buy into outside of the diehard boxing fan, bro. Them dudes have crossed over into the civilian.
This point I was trying to make, Dreeko, right? You can get all the promotion in the world, but if you're not fighting somebody that they want to see you fight, nobody's going to watch.
Yes, they will. Look at Adrian Broner. Look at Adrian Broner, bro. He lose every fight, bro. But we're gonna tune in. And guess what? Adrian Broner's gonna.
Broner lost it. He's not as popular as he was.
All right, but now I'm gonna have to side with Kyron because in that aspect, I don't think Adrian Broner is a good person to use because Adrian Broner done fought some tough motherfuckers. To Adrian Broner, right? So Adrian Broner, right? But people tuned in because he's fighting them, right? Now, as of lately, because Broner has, to me, he's lost it, right? He did too much partying and hasn't worked on his craft, and he hasn't grown. You know what I'm saying? He's at the same level.
In fights.
Right. So now people don't even tune in. People don't really. You have diehards who are gonna watch, but I mean, his last fight didn't do great numbers. People didn't really want to watch that. So, but the thing is, with Adrian Broner, he was fighting tough. He was a promotional genius, but he was also Adrian Broner is one of the guys that I have a lot of respect for because when he was at the top, he didn't duck no smoke, win, lose, or draw, and people tuned in because they was like, we don't like Broner. He could actually lose to the motherfucker that he fighting, and then he lost. True. And then he still talk shit and then fought another tough motherfucker straight after that. So I feel like they both play a part, but I do believe that the promotional aspect of it plays a larger part than the opponent.
Absolutely.
It plays a larger part. But I feel also that in the longevity of the fighter's career, the opponents start to play a huge part because, see, in Crawford's situation, he's accomplished so much, and he has so many fights where it's like we want to see you win with better opposition.
I agree with that.
I think the argument is for most of the fans, or I'll say the Buck Protection Committee is they'll use the excuse that no one wants to fight him when that's not accurate. It's not that no one wants to, none of the champs want to fight him. It's what Kyron is saying is that Bob just fucked up everything with how he's negotiated because of his bitterness and his vendetta with PBC, and he made Crawford collateral damage in the situation because it wasn't about PBC, right? It was about him. It was about him saying "fuck you" to Al Heyman because Al Heyman is a black man in business that is doing better than him now, and he doesn't want to take no losses from a business standpoint. It ain't about winning or losing fights. It's about taking a loss from a business standpoint, and he's been losing with the Floyd situation. He's having to switch up his business model. They go to do the ESPN shit, everything. So I think both of you guys have great points. I don't know what's going to get a lot of feedback again.
Bob, you got to take a side because this is a debate. So we ain't gonna take no.
I know. See, Dreeko, you can't do that because you told me I'm a moderator and you don't want me to take a side. Now you tell me I got to take a side. Which one is it?
At the end of the day, you got to.
I'm neutral.
You got it.
Listen. I'm neutral, and I said that I lean more towards your argument in terms of promotion.
That's true. Okay.
I said that. I'm just saying, but I'm also saying that in Crawford's situation, it's past that now because the promotion he never was promoted.
He's in a do or die.
Right. He never was promoted correctly. Right. He was never promoted correctly to begin with. So now he's in a state where it needs to be about his opponents.
Yes. And
you know what, Dreeko? I'm gonna say this, right? I think he need a Porter fight more than he need a Did you
just put your finger in my face?
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
See what I'm saying?
Listen. No, real rap.
Real rap.
The Porter fight, right? If he was to fight Porter and beat Porter in convincing fashion, that would legitimize Crawford, period, with everybody.
He can't take them chances, bro.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's something that nobody has ever done. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. I'm a Spence fan. I thought that fight was in trouble with Porter until the knockdown. All right?
Facts. I was just debating somebody about that. Somebody made a post about that.
All right? Yeah. Right? Something else about Spence, right? As a Spence fan, I got to be honest about. He got to fight Thurman.
I feel the same way. I agree with that.
He can't fight the two dudes that he beat and not fight him when all three was ducking. No.
I agree with that.
I agree.
He's the one you gotta fight.
With that. Listen,
now,
I agree with all that.
As for Crawford needs to fight Porter, Thurman, and Spence.
Bro, Crawford how old is Crawford, bro? We got to take this into consideration. Crawford is in the go time right now. That's why I say Crawford can't afford to make no mistakes. Crawford can't afford to lose no titles. He can't afford to start over no more. Nothing. Now, he can fight. He can fight in the meantime. I would even say he can sidestep and fight Porter. But I would try to go after Ugas if Ugas still got a belt. I would try to go after somebody with some hardware because he's gonna need that to bargain against Spence, bro. Spence is a bone collector. He collected every belt.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Listen, the thing, like I keep saying, the thing about the Ugas fight is Ugas isn't gonna want less money than he wanted from Spence.
But see, that ain't the difference. That don't make a difference, bro. If Ugas got a belt,
that's the difference.
Bro,
that's the difference in that fight getting made and that fight not getting made.
Yeah, right? and what I'm saying is that don't make a difference. I'm saying whatever Ugas wants, you gotta give it to him.
Hold on. The money is the difference. How can you say that's not the difference?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it don't make a difference what type of money that Ugas want. He has to get it. If he's got a belt, TC must pay Ugas whatever he wants, bro.
Let me interject real quick. Hold your thought, Kyron. I just want to interject real quick with this one statement, and I'll let you go. Dreeko, where I'm lost at with what you just said, because I agree with your thought process, but what I'm lost with what you said is that you said he has to give Ugas whatever money, but Bud is not the one in charge of the money.
That, but what I'm saying is, this fight, I don't think that the negotiations with Ugas is even going to start before before Bob is out of the picture. So what I'm saying is, I'm thinking after these 90 days, if they do go into negotiation with Ugas, Bud has to come and give Ugas whatever amount of money he wants. He has to.
You can't though, Dreeko, because if you're waiting 90 days, Spence and Pacquiao are fighting in less than 90 days, and the president of the WBA said that he's giving the belt. There's a high probability that he's giving the belt back to Pacquiao. So
that's what I said.
After 90, after 90 days, you can't. Right.
That's why I said if Ugas has a belt, still has that belt, he has to go.
But there's a high probability that he won't have it. So if your plan is after 90 days,
he has to fight whoever has a belt, bro.
That's Spence.
Then that's when he defaults back and fights a Porter to keep busy. You know what I'm saying? He has to fight. He has to keep busy, and he has to fight a default Porter if Spence don't want that fight.
So
if Spence don't take that fight.
So let me understand this, right? So basically, you're agreeing with Kyron. But
no, I'm not agreeing with Kyron.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how I just understood it. You're agreeing with Kyron. The only difference is that you're bringing up the 90 days and a belt. Where Kyron,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, based on what you just said, you said that he needs to fight anyone with a belt. So you're saying that because you just said, because I was lost until you just said this. Now with your statement is that he should start the negotiations with Ugas once he leaves Bob. Right now, he has to start the negotiation with Ugas right now before he gets stripped. Before any of this happens, he has to do. Terence Crawford has to make this fight with Ugas happen right now. He should have been on this. His management team should have been on Ugas and been trying to make this fight whatever you want, Ugas. If you want green M&Ms, we're gonna bring you green M&Ms in your dressing room. So again, I'm a little confused because you said that he should. You just said that he shouldn't go to negotiate that fight until he leaves Bob. That's what you said.
No. Listen. I'm gonna say it all over again because I'm jumping and it's choppy.
Okay.
Ugas, he should fight Ugas. He should make this fight happen ASAP.
But if he can't for that though, that involves Bob.
If he can't make this fight with Ugas or they strip Ugas. Put it like this: he's got to make this fight with Ugas. If they strip Ugas, I would think that he has to fight a Crawford. I mean, what's his name? Porter. It would have to fight Porter. If Spence don't want to take this fight, which he should want to fight TC next. If he goes by what his word is, then Spence should want to fight TC next. But to keep busy and to keep his sword sharp, I would say, okay, fight Porter.
Now. Hold on. That's another thing we disagreed on. I'm telling you, he's not walking away from Bob with that belt with no fights. That's not how that's gonna go down.
Right. He has to at least if he manages to keep the belt, he's gonna have to fight for it and battle against all odds not to get robbed of it. That I understand. He's not gonna just
We all get that part, bro. We all get that part of it. But he has to start and putting this right now. He has to get Ugas because Al Heyman is running circles around Bob right now, bro. And that's just the facts.
Facts. Okay.
He is running circles on.
So I want to go back to what you were explaining before. So you're saying that TC should right now try to offer Ugas whatever he wants right now while he has the belt.
Yes.
Well, I feel like with the way politics work, if the WBA president is saying that it's highly likely that someone else, I'm trying to see what this is. All right, it's highly likely that Pacquiao's going to have it, then there's not going to be really anything to negotiate at this point. Right. Because it seems that they're going to take the belt back from him.
They're going to take the super belt. But
they're going to take it back from him. Right. You had a regular belt. Bud's not going to fight for the regular belt. It doesn't make any sense. And then also, you know, if you're saying after 90 days he needs to be trying to fight Porter, then why waste your time even going after Ugas?
You can fight Porter now.
Yeah, he should just fight Porter now.
That's if Ugas has to give up the belt. That's if he don't want to fight for the title, because it will be wouldn't it be a unification if he fights Ugas? That is a unification.
Check this out.
Right.
Hey, Dreeko, listen
Yeah.
to this, right? There's some real stuff, right? If Crawford really wanted to fight Spence, he would have fought Porter last year instead of Brook.
Bro, I think it's the other way around. But that's a whole nother
Porter was
subject.
trying to get the fight last year. He chose Brook.
That's a whole nother subject.
Everybody that called him out, all the PC dudes called him out last year. He picked out Brook, who wasn't even a welterweight, right? That wasn't going to get closer to the Spence fight.
That's true. But bro, all due respect, we're not talking about last year. We talking about what needs to be done right now, bro, and what needs to be and what TC needs to do right now.
We in June, and he still don't have a fight. He don't even have a fight in thought.
That's a fact.
If the Lopez fight is if the Lopez fight is false, then he don't have a fight anywhere.
That's true. That's true. Now, but what we saying is, bro, he has to fight. Back to what I'm saying. Back to the topic. He has to make this Ugas fight. If they take this title from Ugas, bro, then TC really got to stand still.
That's already gone. Listen. See, that's what I'm saying. Here we go with the hypotheticals again. The title.
That's not hypothetical.
Right? The title is going to be gone, though, Dreeko.
Right. I realize that.
Yeah, it's going to be gone.
Has a regular. But he has a regular though, right?
Yeah, but that's like fighting for like the WBC diamond belt or some shit. No one no one's respecting that. And then on top of it, think about it, right? If people were stating that they weren't going to pay for a pay-per-view with Errol Spence, who's a bigger draw than Terrence Crawford, against Ugas, why the hell would they pay for it against Bud, who's less of a draw? And he doesn't even have a belt. I mean, he has a belt, but he doesn't have the one that's recognized, the big boy belt.
Now we in protection mode, y'all, and we're gonna keep it 100 on here.
Protection mode, those are facts.
No. Wait, hold up. Let me finish, bro. Now I'm speaking from TC point of view, bro. Hold on, Nick. Okay. Now we have to be in protection mode when you TC, bro. We have to not only watch our moves, but we got to preserve our belts too. You see what I'm saying? So no, that's not why we're gonna fight. This is why we're not gonna fight a Boots. This is why we're gonna be weary about fighting a Porter. Because even though people say, "Oh, Porter ain't nothing," Porter ain't nothing,
logic, right? If that's the logic, then he don't deserve the Spence fight.
Facts. I was getting ready to say that because you're advocating him to duck dangerous fights.
That's not ducking. I'm not talking about duck. I'm saying, listen, bro. Listen. That's not a duck, bro. Listen, that's not a duck. If I say, hey, I'm a man, bro. If I say, hey, man, you gonna have to duck this nigga right here. I told him before, Boots has nothing to offer. So at least, even if they do take that belt away from Ugas, he still has some form of hardware that TC can put around his neck and take home. You see what I'm saying?
To fight for Crawford, right? Y'all say he should fight for somebody with a belt. But then he keep fighting these has-beens.
He has to, bro.
But he's not going to fight. But it looks like the reality of it. I think, me, I'm a person where I don't like to think, take a long time analyzing, what things that probably has a high probability of not happening. There's a high probability that no one's going to have a belt except either Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence after August 21st, whoever wins. Right. So Ugas doesn't play a part anymore to me, honestly, because So the point is, the biggest. No. I have to agree. The biggest fight. See, because if people really want to see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, the biggest fight that he could make is Porter, because he has to do something. He has to do something to Porter, so he can still have a comparison to Errol Spence and say, okay, well, I knocked out Porter, and Spence had a tough fight with him. That way, the fight could be and demand more. Ugas doesn't do it. I don't think Ugas does anything for really anybody except if he has a title for someone to go collect that title from him. But
that's why I said. That's why I said what I said. At least out of those two, I'd rather him get something that's tangible than to fight a Porter and fuck around and lose for nothing. You see what I'm saying? So even if it's a regular, even if it's a regular belt, he still has a belt, bro, with Ugas. You see what I'm saying?
But he's past that though, bro. The regular listen, getting the regular belt does nothing for him at all at this point. It does nothing. He's already a world champion, so getting the regular belt doesn't do anything for him fighting Ugas. At this point, it's about creating a story. Hold on, it's about creating a storyline to demand the Spence fight by any means necessary, and that's not by fighting Ugas.
Actually, you know what he do? He don't have to even fight. He don't have to fight Porter to determine the storyline, bro. He can fight. Porter to create a storyline. He can fight Ugas, and guess what? He still has 1/3 or 1/4 of that belt, and Spencer's gonna have to come and see him. That's the storyline.
1/4 for the money, then. So you get 1/4 for the money.
What's that?
75-25. That's 1/4, right? Hey,
no, Spencer's got to come see that man. Spence got to come see that man. If he got a title,
he got to come see him. He ain't got to come see him. 7:30.
Then Spence gonna move.
Keep fighting bums.
Man, that's not what we're talking about here, bro. We're not talking about fighting no bums.
Listen. I'm gonna advocate for Spence right now, right? Okay. 70-30 is the best he gonna get fighting nobodies, which means I gotta carry the whole fight. No, he's not getting no more than that. I got 3 belts now. Hold up, it was 60-40 with 2, so now it's 70-30.
It still has to be 60-40, bro. You're gonna have to make it.
I also want to just go back to something you said about the fight being made. This is directed to Dreeko with you saying Spence has to stand on his word. What I'm starting to notice as well when talking about this fight being made in the future is people automatically trying to say that Spence is going to outprice himself. Where the reality is, if he's fought, like I want you to think about something, Dreeko. You said you're going into protection mode for Bud at this point. Or he should get a belt or whatever. But you use Porter as a person to protect him from when that's someone Spence fought. So
use who? Porter?
Yeah, you said
I would say I still fight Porter.
No, you said no boots, and then you said no boots, and you said
no Porter.
No Porter.
Right.
That's what you said.
Yeah, and but he doesn't need Porter. He doesn't need to get this out and make it clear, bro. Spence is gonna have to come see Bud if he's a man of his word.
That's not true.
If Spence is a man of his word, he got to come and see Bud. And I'm not even talking whether it's 70-30, whether it's 20-80. I don't care. Listen, bro. I don't care what it is. It can be 20-80. Spence has to come and see Bud because Bud has that title, and Spence's words were, I'm a unified division. So now it's up to Spence to make that fight work, bro. It's up to Spence to make that work, bro.
I don't believe so. And the reason I'm saying that is because if Spence, I want you to think about Spence's lineup, right?
If Spence is in control, it's up to him to make this fight work.
Hold on a second, Dreeko. I just want to go through this, right? We gotta talk about Spence's lineup of opponents, right? He went from, we won't count Ocampo, but we're gonna say Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, right? These are his fights in a row.
And Kell Brook.
Right. Kell Brook, right? So now you have Bud coming to the table with Jeff Horn, Benavidez, Amir Khan, Me Machine, and Kell Brook, right? So why is it for Spence to make it work when he's done everything? Right? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why Like,
Spence is driving the car, bro. That's the same thing I said when I said it's up to TC to make that fight against Ugas work, bro. Because TC will be in the driving seat, bro. So when Spence has those 3 title belts, if he wants to unify, that's up to Spence to make that fight with him and TC happen. If he wants it to happen,
right? But we have to address the elephant in the room, right?
What's that?
Crawford has said no to every offer made.
Right. The fact is, Crawford said 60-40 his way, or the fight ain't happening, or 50-50, or he's over it. So how can you wait? Hold on. How can you? If Spence is doing everything he's supposed to do, and then he goes to make this guy an offer, and this guy says this offer isn't enough because I believe I should have X, Y, and Z, even though the data shows that that's not real, like that's not how it works, then how is it on Spence to make the fight? Like the pressure, like this is
Spence is in control.
No. This is what it takes two. Listen, a fight can't be agreed upon unless both fighters agree.
Right,
so what my point is, and I've said this before, is that when do we hold Crawford accountable for his part in the situation?
Once they sit down and they negotiate, and Spence come to that table and he has those 3 belts and he say 80-20, 10-90, whatever he's gonna say, and they have a real negotiation, and then TC walks and TC
he has no leverage to negotiate. It's a take.
He has 1 belt, bro. So he has some leverage. He doesn't have
any leverage, bro.
He doesn't have as much as Spence, but he has some leverage, bro. He doesn't have as much as Spence. We understand that
Spence already said he's gonna talk to him, and if he ain't with it, he gonna move on.
But y'all asked me a question. Y'all asked me a question. Now let me answer it.
The thing is this: y'all want Crawford to get a gift that Bob ain't gave nobody, and Crawford wouldn't even give his friend. I'm talking to you.
He's talking about the negotiations. That's what he's talking about when he said he would get there with right. So he's saying that y'all want Spence to give Crawford something that they wouldn't even do.
I'm not saying that, bro. I'm not saying that at all. Listen, bro. I just said if Spence come once they negotiate and Spence come to the table, if it's 80-20 or 90-10, if TC walks away from that, then that's cool. Then I can see Spence saying, okay, I'm done with the situation right now. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, and moving up. But until they do that, we can't speak on that. My point is, Spence has to come and see. He has to come and see TC.
Right? Listen.
Wait, let me finish this. But let me finish this. Let me finish this and then
a million times.
Man, I don't give a fuck what Crawford said, bro.
It's really nothing to talk about too much.
How can you not care what he said? Because he has to be the one who agrees.
So it's 2 against 1 now. Okay,
no, I'm just saying. How can you say that though?
Let me tie it up right quick. When I say that Spence is in control, Spence will be in control because you just said he has no leverage. So that means that Spence got all the leverage. So Spence can come down there and say, hey, man, I'm going to make this fight work. I'll give you 80-20 in the back half, and I'll give you this percentage on the door and this percentage right here. Spence has to make this work if he really wants to unify. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's 80-20, whether it's 90-10, I'm not saying let me finish, nigga. Like what I'm saying is whether it's 80-20, whether it's 90-10, or whatever it is, Spence is in control, and he should be. If he wants to unify, he's gonna have to work this out. If he don't want to unify, and they sit down and he say 90-10 don't work, okay, I'm moving up to 54. That's it. Then it's on TC. Until then,
but it's been on TC. It's been on Crawford. He was even asked, one of your hypotheticals. If he was offered 50-50, would he take the fight? And he still said no. So basically, y'all want Spence to bend over backwards, kiss this nigga ass, give him money he ain't earned to make this fucking fight. That's basically
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
It is what
I didn't say that. How is that a fact, bro? Did anybody
We're not saying you. We're not saying you personally. When he
I'm
said
saying all y'all Crawford fans. That's what I'm saying.
I'm included, ain't I? You saying me, right?
When you said you was a Spence fan. Which one is it?
You just said, hold on, Kwame. You just said you want Crawford to have easy fights until he
Who
gets
you
the Spence.
referring to when you say y'all?
You said that.
Okay, then. Now we got that out the way, Kwame. Now we got that out the way. Now, so he's referring to me, Kwame. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
I
now
am.
I'm gonna address it.
Yes, I am.
I never said Spence to bend over backwards, bro. I just said
But
Spence
you
has to
are.
make. I said Spence has. I
You
said
said that's right. You're not saying they gotta make it. You keep saying Spence gotta make it.
Right, you're right, and that's the part
no.
I
The
agree with.
reason I say Spence has got to make it happen, bro, is because Spence is in control, man. If I'm
He's
selling
been in
something,
control.
if
He's
listen,
been in
if I'm
control of the
okay, he's
situation.
been in control. Okay, let me finish. Spence has been in control forever. We got that out the way. What I'm saying is Spence is in control right now. Spence is in control. So Spence has to make this fight happen because Spence got all the power. He got all the belts.
No.
So
See, that's the
Spence
thing.
has to
That's where you're
negotiate.
wrong. All
But
right.
he can't make
Crawford
Crawford
needs to
sign
come down off
anything
his
or agree to
ego.
Wait a
anything.
minute. I'm not
And realize
saying that. I'm not
this fight.
saying Jesus. God damn.
I'm
Listen.
trying to, so make Dreeko, hold on. So make me understand, because this is what I don't understand. I think Kyron don't understand either. When you're saying Spence has to make it work, we're
Spence
trying to
has
figure
to
out what do you mean
because
by that.
he's in control. If he wants to unify, Spence has to make it work. If he wants to unify, and when I say has to make it work, I'm not saying bend over backwards. I'm not saying kiss his ass. He has to have some form of negotiations that they both have to come into agreement with and say, with Spence being in control and Spence. And they have to come into some type of agreement where TC says, okay, I'll take that. And then they both fight. But when I say that, that's not Spence relinquishing his control, bro. When I say that Spence has to make it happen, it's the weight is on Spence because y'all said it. Spence is in control, and that's obvious. Y'all didn't
Okay,
lie.
so
I
I got
agree
this.
with that.
All right, so I'm going to make this. I'm going to ask a question and make a statement, and then we'll let Kyron go. So,
Yeah.
my question to that is, how does Spence do that with a person who clearly says that they want 50-50 or stuff to be in their favor, and a person who says, hold on, Dreeko, let me finish, and a person who says that the fight is behind them. So Spence, the only things I see that Spence could do is actually approach him to negotiate, but he cannot force this man to take any type of offer, because it seems like the only offer, one of the things that I found that summed up Bud Crawford's perspective, the way he feels about Errol Spence is when they met up in Oklahoma and they were asking about them playing basketball, and Bud Crawford said me. He said they said who gonna win that? He said me. He said anything against him is me. I'm better in everything. He doesn't. He has an ego, bro. He's not going to accept. You're talking. And here's another thing I'm going to say.
I didn't say he had to accept the offer. I didn't say that TC was going to accept the offer. I just say Spence has to offer.
Right, but well, that's not what you said. You said Spence has to make it work. You didn't say
he has to make
offer.
That work.
No, he just has to make. No, he just has to make a fair offer. He can't make it work. It's not up to him to make it work. Someone else has to sign.
Let's not paraphrase it. I said if Spence wants to unify, he has to make this work. If he wants to unify,
if he wants to unify, he has to just go to the negotiating table and make a fair offer. If someone wants to fight to actually work, Crawford has to make it work, not Spence. Spence has to go with a fair.
No, bro. No, listen, bro. You just said, y'all niggas just said, TC don't have no power.
Right,
he doesn't have the. So when he sits,
so he has to make it work. So he's the one who has to make it work. He has no power.
No, when he sits at that table, when TC sits at that table, he has no power. It's EJ's responsibility to say, hey, I'm gonna give you 90-10.
Let me tell you something about Terrence Crawford.
I'm gonna give you 90-10.
Terrence Crawford is not going to show up at any meeting where he doesn't have any power.
I'm not. Don't take what I say literally, bro. When I say jump off a bridge, that don't mean find a bridge and jump off.
What am I supposed to respond to? If you say something and I respond to what you say, they don't take it literally.
When they sit down, y'all are like, when they sit down at Family Dollar outside or something like that, man, or Olive Garden or something like that. No, I'm just saying when they finally come together and they start negotiating, regardless if they sit down standing up in a Learjet and one is in California, one's in New York.
So I get that point. So I get that because I wasn't saying it literally either. What I'm saying is they've already have done that. That's all that's been going on. So what makes you believe? Hold on, Dreeko. What makes you believe that Terrence Crawford is going to have any different stance than he's already had? Because it's not going to be different because he's going to be Terrence Crawford.
Am I debating you or am I debating?
No, because I'm just challenging your question. We're not debating. I'm just challenging your question. I want to see what you're saying, right? So all I'm saying, Dreeko, you're the co-host. You gotta hold it down. That's what I'm saying.
I want to know who am I debating here, baby?
Between you and I, it's not about you or I being right or wrong. That's between you and Kyron, because y'all debating. I just want clarification. I just want to know, because I feel like I'm asking valid questions. Terrence Crawford, because you're saying based on whatever he's not going to have any power, right? He's going to have the least amount of leverage. Yeah. He's always had the least amount of leverage. Once Errol Spence,
that's true.
Right, he's always had.
So what's going to change when they get in there and negotiate? Spence is going to have to make it happen.
No. That's my point. That's my point, Dreeko. That's my point. Be open-minded. Dreeko, be open-minded. So you got to be open-minded, right? Because you're stuck on your thought process, but you have to be able to receive information too.
I'm receiving.
I'm saying,
who sends the proposal over? That would be Spence, right?
Right.
That means that Spence is in control, right? So it's not on TC, bro. It's on Spence, bro.
No, it's on Crawford to accept.
Right. And that's the point. I think what you're saying.
It's on Crawford to accept.
Right.
If he don't accept, it don't even matter what's
bro. That's what I'm saying.
I think you should just wording it. The way that you're wording it is different.
I didn't say that.
No. What you're saying,
Crawford.
No, you're saying it's on Spence, and that's what we're saying is that
it is on Spence, bro. Spence has 3 titles. Listen, man, y'all double talking. Hold on.
He has the 3 titles. So
hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me address. Let me address my man Kyron first. Okay, and then I'm gonna come to it. Okay, and at the Spence has the most weight. You can't go back and forth and say, oh, Spence has the most weight. Now, when it comes to the title, he has the most say so. Then when they sit down, it's up to Terrence Crawford to whatever. Spence has to shoot that offer out there. Spence is in control, bro. Spence has all of the power. So if Spence wants to make this work, it's up to Spence to shoot the contract, and it's up to TC to accept it. If he wants to unify, bro. If he wants to unify, that's how the shit go. What is there to talk about?
Right. If Crawford wants to unify, he'll accept the offer.
Right. I think
if Crawford want to unify, bro, hold up, wait a minute. See, this is where it get messed up at, bro. Spence said that he was gonna unify. He was gonna clean up the division. He said, first, I'm gonna come on my side of the street. I'm gonna clean them belts up, right?
That's what he's doing.
Okay. Then he said, I'm gonna unify this division, and then I'm gonna move up to 54. Did he not say that?
Yeah.
Okay. So once Spence has 3 of those titles, that means that Spence in control, right? Okay. So that means that Spence shoots that offer to TC. Right? Now, if TC accepts or he declines, then that's just how it is. But that Spence has to make that work if he wants to.
No. That's how it's going to
be. Y'all want Spence to jump through some hoops?
I see what the hang up is here. And that's what
TC has to accept.
All right, hold on, Dreeko. I see what the hang up is here, and that's what has myself and Kyron confused. I think you may be using a phrase out of context because it's meaning something to us that when you're explaining it, it doesn't mean that. And when you keep saying he has to make it work, when you say that someone has to make something work, it sounds as that's like for instance, like a person's in a relationship with a woman and he cheats on her, and then the woman doesn't want to be with him. Then she comes back and she's acting crazy, but he still wants to be with her, and you say, well, he did whatever he did, so he has to make it work. But he could try to make it work. Hold on. If he could try to make it work, but if she don't want to be there, she's not going to be there. So all you could do is say, all right, look, yeah, Spence does have the control and he can shoot out an offer, but it's up to Terrence Crawford to make the offer work. See, because if he has if Spence has the leverage and Terrence Crawford is in a position where he has to take less.
It don't work. That's not how it is, bro.
Let me finish. Dreeko, see, again, you gotta be able to see, because I listened, we both listened to what you said, and we're just reiterating what you're saying. If Terrence Crawford is in a position where he doesn't have the leverage, but he has never shown any instance so far where he's willing to take a penny less than Errol Spence, then that means that he's the one who has to make it work for himself. And by making it work, it means that he has to be okay with taking, even if it's just a little bit less money. He has to, in order for this fight, let's just put the cards on the table. In order for this fight to work business-wise, Terrence Crawford has to be willing to take less money. If Spence beats Pacquiao, and he has to be willing to take less money than Spence in the fight. So he's the person who has constantly said, or his team has constantly said, that they're not going to take less money. So it's up to, he makes it work by taking less money. Spence is in control by shooting out an offer. So that's what we're saying, because when you say it's up to Spence to make it work, you can't make something work if a person is saying,
then walk away. That Spence has that control, bro. Spence got that control. He either gonna make it work if he wants to unify. Spence is gonna make it work. He's gonna make it sweet, or he's gonna walk away. I'm not saying bend over backward.
Let Kyron talk for a minute because he hasn't spoke. Let him speak.
You just came out your face talking about he need to make it sweet, which is exactly what I said earlier. Y'all want him to kiss his ass to make this fight.
I didn't say.
Dreeko, even if you don't agree with him, you gotta let him get his thought process out.
Okay, go ahead.
You just said that. You know what I mean?
You didn't let me finish, though. You didn't let me finish my sentence.
Listen. It would be different, right? If Crawford was fighting the same dudes of level of competition that Smith was fighting, but he hasn't. And
that don't make no difference.
And at this point, a lot of people don't even care anymore. You know what I'm saying? The buzz in the fight has lost its appeal to a lot of folks. And Crawford's not doing nothing to help himself. He doesn't have a fight now. You keep interrupting. He doesn't have a fight now. He's sitting on the shelf. He don't even know what his future is. Because if he thinks he's walking away from Bob scot-free with no fight, with that belt, him and whoever else think that, they lost their mind. That's not how that's going to go down. His best opportunity has always been for the last 2 years was Porter. One that would have put him on the other side of the fence. Two, if he looked impressive, more people would have been yelling for him to fight Spence. All right. Now, since he's been at the welterweight division, if he really wanted to get those fights, he would have been knocking out the competition in his way. You dig what I'm saying? That $5 million they gave Khan would have made any of them fights. Even 4. But no PBC fighter was ranked from the time Horn had the belt till last July when Bob mentioned them as potential opponents. So nobody was even eligible for that fight. A lot of y'all Spence fans, Crawford fans, upset that when the PBC was announcing the welterweights, they didn't announce Crawford. Okay, the WBO wasn't even ranking none of their fighters. So why would they announce they champ? Crawford ain't did nothing for himself to help himself with nothing at welterweight. Even if he fight Josefito Lopez, yeah, that's okay fight. That's a stay busy fight. That ain't the people he should be fighting. Not when you've been telling Porter for the last 2 years, stand back, hold on. If this don't work out, I got you next. That's supposed to be your friend. Hold up, that's supposed to be your man, right? That's what you said. your friend. But the best offer you was going to give him was 75-25. But you won't accept 64. You don't want them fights. You don't want none of them fights.
Whoa, hold up. Didn't me and you have a bet? You say that that Porter didn't get an offer, and you just said Porter got an offer.
No, we didn't
75-25. Did you just say pay me my money?
You offered a bet. I didn't accept the bet.
You was wrong. So you admit that you was wrong then, right? So they did make.
I said I wasn't betting.
So they did make Porter.
Well, technically, that's not. Well, technically, no, because the 75-25 he's referring to is by Porter becoming mandatory.
See, there you go. See,
I'm just keeping it 100, bro. What do you want me to do?
You let him out the back door again. Let him out the back door.
Hold up. I got this.
God.
Dreeko. Look, bro, people in the chat are saying it. Dreeko, read the screen. People in the chat know that.
They need to be saying, Kwame is letting this nigga out the back door. I can't even mount my attack.
Hold on.
Listen, bro, I can't even mount my attack against you because Kwame come and he let you out the back door, bro. You be saying a lot of stuff, bro.
Crawford said if Porter wanted to fight, it had to be mandatory, which means hindsight accepting that 75-25 split. That's the only way he was going to get that fight. They wasn't going to negotiate.
Porter
but
didn't.
That's your
Porter.
But that's your friend, right? That's how you do your friend.
Porter didn't turn down the $1 million. $1 million.
I don't know. I don't know what's real because Kenny Porter said there was no offer. Sean Porter came out in public, said there was a $1 million, but don't lowball. So I don't know. I mean,
Listen.
I just know what is a bunch of bullshit.
Hold on, Kwame. I'm gonna break it all down for you. Listen. The $1 million came from when Fred from the barbershop was talking to Bob, and Bob was like, "Yeah, if he wanted to fight, I'll offer him $1 million. If he don't like that, he can take it to person and he can pay for it." That's where the $1 million came from.
Okay, so it wasn't an offer. So it wasn't an offer. It was something said on the show that Bob just responded to.
I'm gonna break it down.
So that Bob had said, if Porter wanted to fight, he will offer him $1 million. Because what he said was, "I'll offer him a third of $1 million now." That's what they want.
So you saying that Porter was Porter ever offered $2 million?
Porter said, "If you want to make me an offer, don't offer me. Don't offer me no $1 million."
You said that Porter was never offered $2 million or $3 million.
Nope.
You want to bet me?
That's what Bob said.
But we don't know. We don't because I know where you're going with that. You know. But
don't let him out. Don't you let him out. You want to bet?
Listen, I'm telling you what his father said. All right?
No. I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Mr. Philly. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson. I'm asking you, do you want to bet that
No, I don't want to bet. No, I don't.
Okay, then. So we're not going to talk about that. Okay, we're not going to talk about.
You know, I give out knowledge for free. You know what I mean? So you got some knowledge.
No. I'm willing to pay you $100. I'm willing to pay you $500.
I'm not asking
you. Salute J-Rod.
I'm willing to pay you, bet you 100 of your money against 500 of my dollars that he was offered $2 million.
I don't want to bet you, Dreeko. I don't want to bet you.
That's 500 to 1, bro.
I just said I don't want to bet
you. No already, like 3 times. No means no.
I want to make it clear. I want to kick him while he down.
Oh,
that's what. If you have some knowledge, then share it. You have some information, share it. That's what we do.
Right. I just said it. That's in the bet right there. So you know if I'm a bet you know he was offered something. That's self-explanatory.
That's right. You might have some information that somebody told you. That don't make it true.
No, bro. No. This is what. Look it up. I want somebody in the chat to look up and see. Porter was offered $2 million.
I'll look it up. I mean, I got the internet right here. I'll look it up. We don't need the chat to do that. I'll look it up. I'll post it. I see it.
If not, I'll send it to you. Oh yeah, look it up and you want me to send it to you?
Send it to me.
Listen, I can show you a clip where somebody from ESPN said
we're not going to do that.
Give him $2 million, but no offer has been made.
We're not going to do that.
Because they keep talking about they don't have money for the fight. So how would they make him an offer? I don't understand that part.
Shout out to Everything Boxing. Been watching the whole time. Good debate. My man Dreeko done switched all the way up to T Bud. He done turned all the way up. Man, salute to y'all.
No. I just said what I got Spence, bro. I think Spence is better. Before the car accident,
You've been campaigning for Crawford since we've been on here.
I gotta make it. No, that's not a campaign, bro. I'm just keeping down the middle, man. Cause y'all be killing.
That shit
Man,
ain't no middle.
y'all be saying Spence can walk on water. Y'all say Spence can fly. Y'all say Spence can bend steel. Y'all be saying everything, and I be
That's
like,
not what I said. I said he should fight.
you
Hold up.
basically.
I said he should fight Thurman. I said he shouldn't duck Thurman. I'm not
You
saying
said
he would
what?
walk on water.
Yeah, we did say that. We said that he should fight Thurman. That's not, because I don't agree with him saying.
Did you get it?
F Thurman. I'm waiting. Let me see. I don't agree with him saying F Thurman. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
It's okay. Sean Porter turns out 2 million fight box from Reddit.
I'm glad you didn't pay. Glad you didn't bet me.
Yeah.
From Reddit.
Glad you didn't pay me.
Who's Reddit?
Yeah, who's Reddit? Right. All these. It's a comment too. All these people. Because everything under that also just talks about the 1 million. I don't want to be sidetracked by that because Mr. Johnson said he didn't want to bet 2 million, 1 million, whatever the thing is. Right.
Listen, Mr. Johnson, I killed you in the aspect of about the promotion, the promotional part. I killed you on that.
Okay, but
and
that
I also killed you on the comment. I killed you on.
Even though that wasn't the initial topic, though, right?
I killed you on.
Hold on. Let's agree that the promotion wasn't the initial topic, right?
It was.
You skipped over that one.
No, the promotion is not the initial topic. Is about.
No, read my post. If you read my post, I said it clearly on the Facebook post, and I tagged you in it, Mr. Johnson. I tagged you in that initial post, and I said promotion, and I said that the Ugis.
No, nigga, that ain't what you said. No,
see, you called me a nigga, and you pointed your finger. Now you see what I'm saying, Mr. Johnson. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, he got you there. He got you there, brother. He got you.
You put me through so much earlier. My blood pressure, I blew my gasket and everything. And now look what you doing to me, bro. You told me Philly. And don't call you no nigga. Don't point your finger at my screen on my phone. You said don't point your finger at your phone. I said, what is going on here with Mr. Johnson? I can't point at my phone. My $1,200 iPhone, I can't point my own finger at the screen. I said, Mr. Johnson, but then you said I'm from Philly. You flexed on me, Mr. Johnson.
And by the way, man, he also said which is close to New York.
Yeah, he said close to New York. And also, yeah, see what I'm saying? Mr. Johnson said he gonna come lay it down. I'm in Michigan now, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, my Lord.
God bless me with a good job offer, man. I moved to Michigan, so you kind of far from me, man. But to everyone out there in the chat, man, we do get heated, and we do. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Johnson. Hold on 1 second. For everybody in the post, man, on the chat, we get real passionate about what we do, and even though Mr. Johnson and ourselves might get mad and we might get heated, and we might have a lot of heated discussions, it's because of our passion for this boxing thing. Last night, me and my host, Kwame, we got heated, man, because we don't always agree on things. You know what I'm saying? So even though we might get heated, we might talk, and me and Mr. Johnson might say something, or I might say something, like, physically or anything. At the end of the day, bro, this is what bonds us together. And I want Mr. Johnson to know if he ever come to Michigan, or if I'm ever at home in New York, if I'm in Brooklyn, and if he needs something or he wants something, he can call me up at any time. And I like to feel the same about Mr. Johnson.
I appreciate the love, man. No, I'm good, man. No, I'm great, man.
Yeah,
I'm truly blessed.
Now, back to me kicking your ass, though. What was you saying?
On some real shit, though, right? Listen.
Yeah.
I want to see Crawford, prosper. You know what I mean? But he's not fighting the right people. You know what I mean? He's not getting the best advice.
I agree.
He's not getting the best advice. All right? Because from what I heard, right, it wasn't about the 10 mil is why he didn't sign it. It was about some back-end pay-per-view money, which he wasn't even guaranteed. The offer was 10 mil. The most you ever made, the numbers from the fight, and the publicity of fighting Manny. That's what the fuck you was offered.
Yeah.
You wanted some extra, and you didn't get the fight.
Well, Mr. Johnson,
Listen, no,
I
let me
want to
finish.
tell you, I want to spread that knowledge.
Let him finish. You can
Let
Okay.
me
just
finish.
hold your thought,
Right.
Dreeko. Let him finish.
Okay. Oh, I'm not gonna disagree. I was gonna go ahead.
He got Bernie coming on the motherfucking radio, disrespecting motherfucking Floyd and Al, but then you might need them motherfuckers in the future,
Facts.
right? But you want to
I
talk shit
agree.
to him about him like Bob was doing, like you didn't learn from his fucking mistakes. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? So that's not helping him.
I
If you go
agree.
to Eddie, hold up. If you go to Eddie, that ain't gonna help him. He's gonna be sitting
Facts.
over there like Andrade. All right. MTK, that's cool because they do kind of have a relationship with Al and them. They made the first Fury fight without Bob. So that might work.
Right.
But he's still when he get there, they're gonna sit him down and tell him what time it is with him. All right.
I agree. I agree.
This shit ain't gonna work with us trying to give you millions of dollars and you fighting mediocre people.
I
That
agree.
ain't
I don't
now
agree with
that's
that one.
listen, now
I
that's after he get out the contract. All right. The contract might end technically in October, right? But if you think he's walking away from Bob without a fight and that belt, I'm sorry.
so there has to be said so I agree with that, right? So there has to be a fight that is next for him because it's not going to be
No, listen, Kwame, this is what I think, right? Bob ain't gonna let him get a fight, let the time expire, and let the WBO take the belt.
it's very possible. There's a lot of grief
Listen,
that can happen, Jingo, because it could be you never know. And these contracts are all crazy. It's like if you turn shit down, but Bob could block it because Bob is dirty. You know what I'm saying? He could block fights, and then when the contract's up, he could be like, "Well, we tried," because he's already put out there in the media that he's hard to work with, and that he said they offered. He said something about they offered him the Ugas fight, they offered, but he doesn't want to sign contracts, right? And then again with this last Manny Pacquiao situation as well, he put out there that he didn't sign the contract, right? So they could try to use it and say he hard to work with. He didn't, he was supposed to do X, Y, and Z. He didn't sign the contract, and they stripped
I
him.
agree with that. I agree with all
You
that.
never know. I'm not saying I don't want that to happen to him, but I think what Mr. Johnson said, which was made a lot of sense as well about Al and Bernie saying shit about Floyd and Al, is that these are the guys that you need anyway. Even after you leave, think about it. Let's say Spence moves up.
I agree with all that.
Let's say Spence moves up, right? You know what? PBC, those titles are going to be vacated, right? And just the same way PBC had Danny Garcia fight Robert Guerrero for Floyd's vacant WBC belt before they threw him in there with Keith Thurman, they'll probably do the same thing. Those fights are not gonna.
Johnson smoking that square like a like a old '70s black exploitation movie.
You know what I'm saying?
That nigga smoking that motherfucking cigarette like he Rod O'Neal. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. So my thing is, my thing is, he's still not going to have a chance to get those belts because I can see it right now. Once those belts are dropped, they'll probably do some shit like keep or Ugas versus Boots Ennis or Ugas or Thurman versus Ennis for a vacated title once Spence goes up. So at the end of the day, he's still going to need these same guys. No, if he leaves Bob, he's still these are the guys who are going to have those titles, and it don't look like he's looking to move up, to 154. So
I agree.
But Kwame, but Bernie is his official spokesman.
It's true. Yeah.
Right.
I agree with all that. I want to interrupt 1 second though. Shout out to Keon and Everything Boxing, man. That dude is a monster, man. If y'all haven't liked or shared or subscribed to his page, man, go do it. That's our brother, man. Like he come on and he be bringing that heat and he passionate too. And he don't care if you a pugilist of boxing or he don't care if you a beginner. He gonna bring that heat, man. And he gonna correct you and he gonna get that knowledge by the end of the day, man. So shout out to our brother. Keon from Everything Boxing, and also Money Brown TV. The same thing, man. When them guys connect, they something
Yeah,
special, man. Money Brown
I fucked with
TV,
both of them.
yes,
Yeah, I watch.
special.
You know what I mean? I'm a subscriber.
Yes,
Yeah.
Money Brown, he gets
Money
down.
Brown, yeah.
The Big Stepper, that's my brother too. He get down, man. If y'all haven't liked, shared, and subscribed to Money Brown TV, go do it. That brother cooks every night. He up. Sometimes he make 2-3 videos a day. Man, them two brothers right there working, man. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to us and my host, Mr. Kwame. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna have to go east. He's east because he's from Brooklyn. So that's his last name, East. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Shout out to him. We cook over here too, man. We don't always agree and everything like that. I had to get that out the way. Now, I'm sorry, my host. Go ahead, man. Finish saying what you're saying.
Look, man. So, look, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm not gonna determine any winners in this debate. That's me personally, because I feel like both of you guys made really good points. I do feel like sometimes, Dreeko, you did go a little bit too far left with some hypotheticals. But
That's what I do.
right, I see that. Now I understand your game. And, you know,
I have to.
I
You know,
understand your game now, what you do now.
I have no leg to stand on at times,
right, I
man.
see
It's
that.
something-
I see. You
I
start
gotta
hopping
pave
on
my
your
own
elbows
way
and
at
shit.
times.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
see
saying?
that. I see that. I see
The Crawfords don't give me a leg to stand on. I gotta pave my own way through this, bro. So, but I'm gonna make it happen.
I see
I'm
that.
resourceful. I'm resourceful. I'm gonna make it happen.
I see that. I say that. Spence is in control. Crawford needs to make it work.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
If Spence wants to unify.
And then,
No,
what,
no,
and
no.
then we have to stop. Yeah, again, and I agree with Mr. Johnson that we have to stop with the if Spence was this. What does Bud want? Because at this point, do we have to ask what
It ain't about Bud.
Hold on a second. Well, he's the other side of the equation. It is about Bud. So
No.
It is. He says he's the best at 147. That's what he says.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Kwame East. Since the debate is over now and everything, we just shook hands and everything. We agreed to
No, we
disagree and
didn't.
all of that.
No, we
Now,
didn't.
Kwame,
We
you
ain't
just a
shaking
part of this.
No.
You a part of this equation now, Kwame. And when
Okay,
I say
great.
Spence has to make this work, Spence got to make it work because he's in all control. That doesn't necessarily mean he has to bend over and kiss or bend over and hug or whatever.
What I need to understand is
Here's what
I need to understand from you because I don't like to keep going back and forth about the same thing. So I know how to pinpoint certain things. So what I need to understand is what does make it work mean to you? Because it doesn't. What it means to you, it doesn't seem like that's what it means to us in terms of Mr. Johnson and myself. So clarify what make it work means.
That just means that he's in control. That means that he can say 90-10. And if Crawford says no and don't accept, I'm gone. That's control right there.
Okay. Well, I mean, well, I guess that makes somewhat sense, but he can't. But I don't agree with that only in the sense that Spence is in a kind of with Crawford people. He's in a no-win situation with negotiating, so he definitely can't say 90-10 because everyone's going to blame him for ducking with an offer because that's what they're doing now. So
I mean, he's in control. He can say that though now, bro.
Right, but that's he has to beat Manny first. That ain't happened yet. But my thing, because I don't just put, I can't just dismiss Manny Pacquiao. I choose him to win, but Spence to win, but they got to fight. So
that's a good political answer.
Right, barring that happens and things go the way that I would like to see them go. Crawford is the one, to me, Spence is in control, but Crawford is the one who has to, which is not in his vocabulary when it comes to a black peer or a black authority or a black authoritative figure to humble himself. He doesn't do that for black peers, and he doesn't do that to black authority figures. He does not humble himself because he's going to have to humble himself in what he wants in terms of negotiating. And in terms of negotiating, I think the sweet spot, if Earl is trying to be completely generous, is 60-40. That's extremely generous. But it's a 65-35, and The only way that I can see that happening is based on what you, Mr. Johnson said as well, is Bob getting out the way and new management like NTK Global telling him this is the best he could do. Because it's Arum who keeps spewing the 50-50, and Crawford has to keep repeating 50-50. He can't go against Bob while he's trying to negotiate, right? So my point is, he's going to have to humble himself. And then on top of it, him leaving, which is going to be, that's going to be the best thing. But it's not like his team is disassembling, because you also have Bomac, who said that 50-50 for Spence or Pacquiao. Or Pacquiao.
Right.
So somewhere along those lines, they need to change their perception on this.
Well, you know what I already think about that inside job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna go down that road anymore. I think that TC did F himself. You know what I mean? As far as the business wise, I think he did get himself, he's got himself in the corner now. I think that they were out maneuvered by Al. Al is a genius, bro. I think that he ran circles around Al. Ran circles around Bob. That's to begin with. I don't think that Bob really cares too much about TC, and it's up to TC to really take care of itself. Because
Bob
when
don't
you
care about anybody but his money,
right? Well, black boxers especially. You know what I mean?
Well, Bob don't care. Bob doesn't care about anybody except his money.
That's right.
What he cares about. He cares about his own legacy and his money.
Even that, right, Dreek? You got to give Crawford some of the responsibility there. Because it ain't like he didn't know. If everybody else can see it, he can see it too. You know what I'm saying?
I just blamed him for the whole thing because it's from you, it's from your whole camp, and even though everything is happening, you oversee everything that's happening. And when I say Spence,
his career, right? His career.
That's right. And when I say that Spence has to make it happen, I'm more so saying Spence is in control, bro. Like Spence, TC has nothing right now. Spence can go in there and say $5.95, and TC can say nope, and Spence can say bye. Because as of right now, Spence don't need TC. TC actually needs Spence.
Right.
Well, Spence can move on up.
Right.
So when I say Spence has all power and he can make it happen, that's what I mean. He can make it happen.
Right. And that's why we said we needed to understand what you meant by that, because when you word it in saying that it's up to Spence to make it work, it's like when you tell somebody it's on you to make this work, that sounds like you're putting the weight on that person to make the situation.
You're putting the responsibility on them.
Right. And that's the way we took it.
In a way that it is on Spence to when I say
that's again, you're wrong.
On Spence because hold on. Heavy is the head that wear the crown. So when I say Spence is the power, he got all the power, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily.
We agree with you. We agree with you on that part, that he has the power and the negotiating.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's on Terrence Crawford to make the offer work. You can't talk to a person, you can't negotiate with a person who's not willing to negotiate.
Spence don't even have to negotiate with him. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all now. Spence don't even have to negotiate, bro. Spence can come in there and say 99 to 1%, take it or leave it. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no negotiating when Spence is in that type of control, bro. He got 3 belts.
Yeah, but Bud is not the type. He doesn't. That's what I want to explain to you, right?
Bye then.
Common sense is not something that everyone has, and not saying that in a way to be disrespectful, because I should say, or logical thinking, because none of this has been logical from their point of view, because Spence has always been in control. Nothing's going to really change in the eyes of Bud, because the arguments that everyone has had, he included, is what he's accomplished at 140 in his entire body of work as a boxer. When we bring up negotiations, the thing he said on that Miss Boxing Baby interview was, after he said 60-40 my way or 50-50 or no fight, he said with his little career. So he's not based it off of the present. He's based it off the past. And what someone has to bring to his attention is that he's acting like the price of Apple stock is the same price today that it was in 2013. That's how he has to look at himself. When you was undisputed, yes. When you first came into 147 as undisputed, possibly yes, but the only problem was that the fight needed to be a pay-per-view fight, and then your pay-per-view sales sucked. So they couldn't do it that way. So now today, as we speak, his body of work he's done well in the ring, but to what Mr. Johnson said, the opponents, to what you also said, because it's been poor on both ends. Mr. Johnson's point was the opponents, your point was the promotion, which goes back to Bob, which no one wants to bring up all the time. They said, let's keep Bob out of it, let's keep the money out of it. But this is what the fucking issue has been. And what's interesting about all this, as I sit up here and speak, right, is that I've gotten so many enemies from Team Crawford and Nebraska and all this, when my initial stance from the beginning was always blaming Bob. But because people think, the way that they think is that you can't question a white man. It's like, well, why can Kwame do it? You need to mind your business, right? But at the end of the day, this has always been the issue. So once Bob leaves, or he leaves Bob, or however that scenario goes, now he's going to need, because I'm just going to speak the way I see it. He's going to need another white person to tell him to take less money, because he ain't going to listen to a black person to tell him to take less money. So he may have to go to MTK Global and have another white person say this is the way to do it to make the fight happen. Because
listen, I don't think it's that way with TC, man. I don't think it's TC's an NIGGA, bro. If you talk to him, you would know. I think he was got caught in a pickle. Bob, and he's extremely loyal. Bob bailed him out of a pickle, and he feels like he owed Bob a certain amount of thing, a certain amount of respect.
Loyalty. It's a loyalty thing. He bailed him out of that situation he was in, and he got him belts and stuff, and he wanted to stay loyal to that. And we talked about this in our last live stream, is that athletes, black athletes especially, have to understand that your loyalty can only go so far, because the game isn't loyal to you. You know what I mean? So a sports franchise, people will boo Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant, when Kevin Durant left. But if Oklahoma City got up and said we was traded in the next day for 7 other players, everyone would have applauded him when he came back playing on the other team, and they had a nice video of thanking him for everything. Right. So at some point, Crawford has to just be realistic. I think he gets sensitive about the fans talking about who he's fought and his level of opposition. But if he's just real with himself, because I don't think he's scared of people. I don't see that in him. But let's put it like this. I don't think he's scared of fighters. But I think he may be scared when it comes to the authority figure and what they can do and what type of pickle they can put him in. So at this point, I think he's in a situation where his back is so against the wall that he has to leave. They made it clear that he has to leave at this point. So just make the right decision, because
I think that global is a good decision. I can tell you, damn, how can I put this without giving away?
Just tell me later. You don't have to say it now. Just tell me.
Yeah. I think he's in a good place right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as, this situation right here, I think he's in a good place right now. He just got to stay focused.
That's never been a problem for him.
Yeah. He has to really, and by him, and a lot of people don't realize, but by him being in Dubai riding those jet skis, that's him saying, I'm gonna ride. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Dreeko.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I got a hypothetical for you, right?
Not you. You speaking hypothetical.
Yeah, I got one for you. Bob let the time expire, right? Then the WBO snatched that belt. What leverage does Crawford have with anybody every day?
He don't have nothing. It just and he becomes a people champ, bro. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this
I was
ain't the
gonna say
first
that.
time they snatched it from Ali.
But
You know what I'm
listen,
saying? So
but then he still had to step up his level of competition.
I wouldn't think so. He's still gonna be TC, bro. If they snatch that belt, he's still gonna be TC. You know what I'm saying? He's still gonna have them accolades. You know why? Didn't nobody lay him down in that ring. So he
Yeah,
always had
but
that to
listen
fall
though.
on.
But listen though, bro. Listen though. This is the thing though, right?
Yeah,
Although he's beat everybody that he's fought at 147, right?
knocked him out.
He was expected to beat them. He was expected to knock them out. All right.
I don't know,
So
bro.
so listen.
I
So
don't
now,
know.
yes, he was.
I can't say
Yes, he
all
was.
of them.
Yes,
I
he
didn't
was.
expect him. Listen, I expected him to knock. I didn't expect him to knock out Brooke. Honestly, I thought that he was going to out. I thought he was going to outbox Brooke and probably knock
You
him
said
out in
that.
probably the same fashion that he did like Mean Machine or something like that. That knockout that he gave Brooke was dramatic.
The only person that I thought he would knock out more than Kell Brook was Amir Khan because he had no chin. Kell Brook was a shell of himself. Everyone knew that. Everyone knew that.
I didn't know
Everyone
he
knew
was going to. It's the fashion that he knocked Brooke out in, man. That
that. Yeah.
that check that
Check this
little
out.
half
But this is the thing
block.
though.
And,
This is the thing though,
and
right?
Kell half
Rico,
blocked it. Yeah.
listen.
You should
Kell
pay
Brook
Errol
wasn't
Spence for
ranked
that.
at 154 or 147. He wasn't
Right.
fighting none of the top 154 dudes. He wasn't. His name wasn't even mentioned among theirs.
Who was that?
Bob
Facts.
him, Kell Brook.
TC?
He fought three nobodies while he was at 154. Bob snatched him up to 47.
Yeah, we get a lot of feedback from you, Mr. Johnson.
Had him
Mr.
ranked.
Johnson, we got
Hold up, and had him ranked as number 7 WBO welterweight world.
Mr. Johnson, I
That's
can't hear. We
can't hear you because there's a lot of feedback from your line. I think it's your phone. I don't know if you have Wi-Fi.
no,
Yeah.
not my line.
your little cricket ass phone.
Yeah, it is your line. Wait. No, it's not. Hold on, because I muted
My
him.
phone costs more than yours.
Uh-oh. Let's see. It's you, Dreeko. You the culprit again. It's your line. Oh, come on, Dreeko, man. You got us. You got us.
Is that me? Is that me in the
Hell
chat?
yeah, that's you, man. Once I mute you, watch. I'm gonna mute you. Watch this. You muted. Oh, look at this. It's crystal clear, like Verizon and AT&T.
Okay,
There goes Boost Mobile. I already did that. It's not him. I cut Mr. Johnson off now. Still,
Can y'all
blah blah
hear
blah. Yeah,
Can
but
y'all
it's
hear
the
me?
feedback. The feedback from you, bro. I'm gonna mute you, and the feedback is 100% gone. That's you.
Okay, talk, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, we're gonna mute you while you talk.
All right, so where were we, Kwame?
You were talking about a hypothetical with him not having a WBO.
Yeah. You know, like, okay, because like I said, right, the reality of the situation is nobody has walked away from Bob clean.
Facts.
Not with a belt. That doesn't happen. And if he don't like you, which seems to be the case with him and Crawford, I really don't see that nigga walking away without fighting and without that belt. He might not be fighting because that's the setup to have him sit out all fucking year and not defend his mandatory and then have him take it. That's what I see as a likely scenario at this point with Bob. Because Brooke was the setup fight, it just didn't work out the way Bob thought. All right. Even before that fight, Bob was talking about next year I can make Brooke versus Manny. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
When you
because he
call
was planning to rob him. That's why. He was planning to rob
You get what I'm
him.
saying? So, since that didn't work, right, we're not even going to try that method no more. We're just not going to let this nigga fight at all and just have a WBO who does exactly what Bob wants, strip his ass. Next year, he'll have a box off with Taylor and somebody else. And that'll be that.
Okay, facts. Let me see. Let me get Dreeko back in here. Let me see if we have any. I'm trying to unmute your mic. Oh, they say you muted
Okay,
yourself.
that's me. Yeah. How about this?
That sounds better. A lot better. A lot
Okay.
better.
Okay.
All right,
Can
cool.
y'all hear me clear?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, brother. We can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Now going back to the debate. I do have a gripe with you, Dreeko, during this debate.
Uh-huh.
You was trying to earn a sergeant status in the Bud Protection Committee. Because you use the word protection. You use the word protection. Remember, Mr. Johnson, he said protect, right? And I said, well, protect what? You said Bud. I was like, whoa, okay? So you try to protect this man from Ennis. We see it, you know, and I credit myself for that because you had no respect for Boots before. Now you protected Bud from Boots, and then you was trying to protect him from Porter. You trying to protect him from Porter.
I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't think Boots can beat Porter or Spence right now. I don't think he can. Do I think that Boots is
Butter Spence?
Yeah, I don't think Boots can beat. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't think Boots can beat Bud or Spence right now. I do think that Boots is a dangerous fighter though. So I'm not taking away from his skills or anything. He's just not ready for those two. Those two are two elite fighters.
But see, that's the thing.
Just what I think. But he is a dangerous guy.
Let me address. Yeah, go ahead. Let me address J Rod's comment I have up here. He says, "How was Kell Brook to show himself when he's coming off a 3-fight win streak?" So, I'll just elaborate because I'm not going to say that you wrong or whatever, but I just want to answer your question so you can see my logic on it. Well, first thing we know is that anytime a fighter takes a loss, a top fighter takes a loss, they always put them in with a fighter that they can get their confidence back with. You know, like Danny Garcia took his first loss. It wasn't that, you know, he didn't. Who did he come back and fight? Was it Granados and got a knockout? Kell Brook took a beat down with a second eye surgery, a broken orbital bone, broken ribs. He was so depressed he was drinking out there in the UK. They brought him back for a cupcake fight. Then he had a fight that he struggled in really bad. Where Spence called him a shell of himself after he watched the fight. And then when after his third win, and these are all UK guys, no one that anyone cared about. After that fight, he was getting ready to be put into the WBC. He was getting ready to be put into the WBC title elimination fight to fight Jamel Charlo, and they were going to put him into the WBC clean boxing program, and then he dropped out of the rankings. So I mean, who ducks a title shot? Who does that? Who ducks a title shot and then say that they want to come back down to 147? You know, and they ain't never made the weight. So he was clearly a shell of himself. And then if you go back and look at the tape, because I like to look at tape, you know, I'm not just saying this person did this and this person did that. But if you go back and look at the tape, Bud Crawford had a well-timed shot, but he hit him in the same exact orbital bone inside that Errol Spence damaged. And he almost flew out of the ring from a punch that he shouldn't have taken. He should have taken a lot better than that. He almost went out the damn ring from the middle of the round. From the middle of the ring, right? He almost went out the damn ring from that little ass punch. Now, if you go back, right now, here's the thing, because I just like to deal with facts. So, what you're going to tell me is that shot that hit that hit Kell Brook was a harder shot than Kell Brook took from Triple G, and Triple G never knocked him down in a fight? You telling me that shot was harder than all them shots he was taking from Errol Spence and Triple G? No. The guy was a shell of himself, and he was there for a payday, and even Carl Froch said he was there for a payday, and he was a damaged fighter, and these are people from the UK. But
listen. Even more telling razor, right? Amir Khan has been ducking him for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, Amir Khan
wants to
want to
fight
fight
him.
him.
Okay, and then to also and guess what? And then also to actually checkmate that comment as well is that Bomac, Bud Crawford's trainer, came on the Boxing Voice and said Kell Brook was a damaged, washed up fighter. That's what he said before he knew he was going to fight him, because they said in that interview he said we only want to fight people with belts, Spence or Pacquiao. And they asked about Keith Thurman. He said they wasn't going to get no credit for beating Keith Thurman. And then when they asked him about Kell Brook, because they said Kell Brook was on the table, he said, why would we want to fight him? He's a washed up, broken down fighter. So he was damaged goods. I knew he was going to get knocked out.
I knew that Bud was going to win and probably knock him out in the end, but the fashion, man, I wouldn't have never guessed that, man.
Because listen, that wasn't a punch. That was a karate chop. He karate chopped that dude across the side of his face where it was already broken, and he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah.
I got something for y'all.
Listen, hold on, let me say this, Kwame. On some real shit. I was rooting for Brook, right? Because I figured, right, the Brook that I saw fight Spence and Triple G will beat the shit out of Crawford.
Yeah, he would have.
All right. But that ain't the same dude.
It ain't the same dude. And I agree with that because, you know, and I said this before. The reason why I picked Boots to beat him is because the holes I saw in Terrence Crawford defense against Kell Brook. I was almost shut in 4 rounds. In 4 rounds. If Kell Brook...
Hey, 2 more rounds? Oh, Bob would have had them stop that fight and gave the belt to Brook.
Yep.
Why you think he was so mad after the fight? Your fighter just won in spectacular
and you shitting on him in the public.
He's mad as hell.
Yeah, it was obvious, bro.
How y'all we gonna move along, we gonna check. That's true. I agree with everything, man. I agree with it. How do y'all think we got this T.O. and this Haney thing brewing, man? What's y'all take on the Haney and the T.O.? What y'all think about that?
I agree with you now. I switched sides on that. After seeing Haney get clipped, it wasn't the fact that he got clipped, it was the fact that he didn't recover. That's that for
T.O. will destroy him.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now with that. I thought Haney, because we never seen Haney hurt, and as I said before, we saw Floyd clip before, worse than that, hurt way worse than that, against Mosley, wobbling, but he recovered. Haney didn't recover, and he do that against Teofimo Lopez, he's gonna have his lights put out.
I agree.
And T.O.'s not going to allow him to grab him like that all fight.
No, he's going to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I hear some people say that Haney's going to box his ears off and all that. I think T.O. is too experienced for that. I think that T.O. is battle tested. He's fought the best pound for pound fighter in that division, quote unquote, Loma. I think T.O. is just more powerful. He studies.
He's faster than Norris, and he hits harder.
He studies his opponent.
Listen, he has that one punch knockout power.
Right.
Yes, with either hand. I think that T.O. also studies his opponent. He comes in there with a plan, a game plan, and he's able to execute it because of his power and because of his discipline. And I think that he and size, and he's able to execute the game plan, and that's very important in boxing.
Hey, let me ask both of y'all a question, right? Did Haney seem kind of dirty in that fight?
What do you mean by dirty?
Dirty fighting?
He was doing a lot of illegal shit.
You know what? I seen some, but I didn't really. It wasn't enough to for me to say. But I dare say, damn, that's like out of Haney's character. You know what I mean? I thought he was really a clean fighter. And I said, oh, Haney can get dirty. It was more like, I was like, yeah, Haney, okay, I see you.
Yeah,
it was more like that.
Like he went back to shit that went on in some gym wars.
Yeah. But now since you said that, and you painted a whole different, look about it, he was kind of
what I noticed, right, in the later part of those fights, right, he started leading with his head. And it seemed like Linares was more concerned about not getting head butted You know what I'm saying? Than trying to throw shots.
Okay.
And you know,
Okay.
like Dev kept throwing that elbow up in his neck. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just saw, you know, a multitude of things. I was like, wow, that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I just think, I think Tio's gonna take over, man. I really do, man. I think that Tio gonna, and by
I
round
think Tio
9,
and Tank. I think actually, you know what? To be
yeah.
honest with you, I think if he
Bad.
fight Lomachenko again, Lomachenko will whip his ass.
No, he'll knock
Yeah.
Lomachenko out if he
No, he
fight him
won't.
again.
No, he won't.
He'll knock Loma out.
Listen,
Cause I know
listen,
what you're gonna say.
listen,
You're gonna say Loma's
listen.
gonna start
He
out
won
earlier,
that fight.
and if he
Listen,
do,
listen.
he gonna run into a strong
Tio won that
Tio,
fight
and Tio
because of
gonna knock him out.
Lomachenko's inactivity more than what he did. Because throughout that fight, right, I saw Tio getting punched in the face more than I saw Lomachenko.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. With
No,
the
you didn't.
cleaner shots, yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I saw Tio hitting him to the body a lot. I
No, you
saw
didn't.
Tio chasing him around the first 6 rounds, barely landing shit, but he was more
What?
effective than Lomachenko.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Kwame. You see what I'm saying? If that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this: if Loma hadn't started, what do you? Oh, if you know, give me where you going?
I guess he's taking care of some business real quick.
I'm working,
Man, this
man.
crazy, man. This nigga in here cooking greens and cabbage and cornbread. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hi. Yeah, take a pot. So
He handing out pots.
I told you he there cooking. This right here crazy. I think that if the reason why Loma didn't run in there the first 6 rounds is because Tio was too strong, and Loma felt that. By the first
no,
6 rounds,
listen. I'm not gonna say
yeah,
Tio wasn't strong, but I think he gave him more respect than he should have.
I
You
can
know what I
agree.
mean?
no, you
Yeah.
gotta respect
Because
that power, bro.
when he looked up and realized that, damn, that's what round it is. He ain't really hit me. Let me step in here.
Right.
He started tearing his ass up.
Facts.
No, that's not what it was.
Facts.
This is what it was, bro. When Tio let up off the gas, that's when Loma started hitting. And I would give you that point if Tio didn't step back on the gas in round 10 and start beating him up again. You see what I'm saying? Now that's facts right there. Now if
If
Loma
they
stepped
fight
on the
again,
gas and kept the gas from
if they
8 to
fight again,
12,
I'll bet on that. If they
I
fight
bet
again,
you.
I'll bet on that.
I bet
All
you.
right.
Because if Loma had stepped on the gas in the 8th and he kept his foot on the gas up until the 12th, I'll say, okay, y'all got a good. That's good. T.O. I mean Lee.
If Loma had started fighting from round 1, he'd have got him
He would have
out.
got knocked out. He got knocked
He'd
out if
have
he had
got
ran in
him
there
out of
on T.O.
there. Listen, he'd have got him out of there. But he'd have been embarrassing that nigga so much that he would have quit.
Embarrassed.
If
Loma would
Loma had
embarrass
started from
T.O.
the beginning.
Yeah, Tio defense was a little
He didn't
suspect once
listen.
Loma stepped on the gas. He get punched
That
all up
one.
in the face.
Listen here, bro. I don't care how
Right?
T.O.
He was
defense
getting punched
is.
all in the
When
face.
Loma felt that heat from that jab in round 1 and he wasn't falling for them little feints and he was throwing that hook and putting Loma in position for that straight right hand, he threw that uppercut, hook, jab, and then he came right over the top with that right hand.
Listen.
Loma said,
Check
whoa,
this out,
let me
right?
fall
Check this
back.
out. Listen.
Let me fall back.
I gave T.O. the first half of that fight, not because what he did, but because Lomachenko wasn't doing shit. So I had to give it to somebody.
Yeah, Lomachenko threw like
Not because
8
not
punches
because he
by
was
round
dominating that
6.
fight.
You cannot give T.O. no credit for that. The reason why Loma wasn't punching is because T.O.
No.
had that pressure on him, bro.
He was
I give
scared.
T.O. credit for that. He was more aggressive. He was chasing around the ring. He was trying to catch him. He might catch you with a body shot or two. You dig what I'm saying? But Lomachenko was basically really staying out the way.
And that's what
On aggression and landed punches, yeah, I had to give T.O. those rounds. Lomachenko ain't do shit.
right.
No.
I think also Lomachenko was just weary because he came into the. I think there's game planning going on. So they've watched film and they've seen Tio spark people early He sparked Comey early. He sparked a lot of people early, so they were afraid to engage. And Lomachenko was gun shy. And then also when Tio went to the body on Lomachenko, because Floyd called this out years ago that Lomachenko
He staggered Loma.
Yeah, and once and that's what happened. Once Lomachenko stepped on the gas in the second half of the fight, the only reason he stepped back off the gas was because Tio landed some body shots. And Tio didn't pick up on that to keep going to the body. I think it'd be a great fight. I think Lomachenko has a chance to win again. He has a chance to win, but I still put my money on Lopez because I think if Lomachenko goes in there early, he's gonna wind up getting sparked.
Yeah, he's gonna get sparked.
Listen, Tio might have a problem with this fight coming up.
He might. Kambosos look pretty sharp. I was watching the training camp. He looks real sharp. I don't know about it being easy.
Easy.
I don't know about that. He looks sharp.
No,
as shit.
listen. Kambosos been sparring with Manny for years. Ain't nothing easy gonna be about that fight.
Right.
Easy.
I was watching him hit the bag. He looked good. But we'll see.
My man, listen here, bro. Brooklyn gonna come in there with a game plan. We're gonna execute the game plan and get him up out of there. And we're coming to see Haney. You dig what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. I can't put it no different. We're coming in there. We proven. We done beat the pound for pound. We done knocked out 3 top 10 contenders. He shouldn't even be questioned right about now.
Thanks.
I'm not questioning T.O. I'm not. What I said is he need to watch that ball.
Yeah. I think that's
gonna be a lot of fight.
I respect your opinion, Mr. Johnson, because I think it's a fair assessment based on what you said to think Lomachenko could win the next fight. I think he can too. Devin Haney made a good point about Teofimo Lopez and Linares because he said Linares dropped. Talking about power, Linares dropped Loma and Devin and Teofimo wasn't able to do it, and he hit him with a couple flush shots up top. So it's all a matter of it's just a matter of who's better that night, and I'm pretty sure Lomachenko's game plan is going to be a lot different. It could be
right.
A reincarnation
until round 6, round 8 to start fighting.
It could be a reenactment of Kovalev Ward 2, where Kovalev I feel won the first fight and got robbed, and then Ward picked up on what he needed to do towards the end of the fight and carried that into the second fight. I think that's what can happen in Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko part 2 if they ever decide to fight.
If he come out
because
like he
what
finished.
I saw, listen, Tio don't seem to respond well when pressure's put on him.
That wasn't
when he got to
bro.
go backwards, he don't seem to respond well. Tio
went in cruise control. He let up off the gas for them 2 rounds and 8 and 9. And possibly 10, 8, 9. I say 8, 9. Tio let up off the gas, went in cruise control, and came back 10, 11, and 12 and beat him down again. And went to the same thing.
I disagree. I don't think he went into cruise control. I think Lomachenko is a very prideful fighter and champion, and he knew he was losing, and he just said, "Fuck it, I gotta engage now. I'm losing," and he just started to go for it, and he had success. And then once Teofimo landed those body shots, he got him to back off, and then Teofimo wanted it more than him down the stretch. Down in those last rounds, he just wanted it more, and he decided, fuck it, if you're gonna bring it to me, I'm gonna bring it to you, and we just gonna fight because you're not gonna knock me out, and I'm up. And
that's what. Who won 11 and 12? Who won 11 and 12?
I'm agreeing with you. He did. He did because I feel like he knew he was already winning, and he wanted it more, and he could taste the win. He knew it was like he knew that he wasn't gonna. I felt like he had no danger of being stopped, and he knew he needed to be stopped in order to lose. So he fought in a way where he couldn't allow the judges to take it from him. So he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to fight 11 and 12 and make it decisive. If you want to fight, let's just fight. But I'm not going to be on cruise control to allow anyone to take anything from me." And his confidence was up, and he deserved to win, no doubt about it.
What y'all think about you mentioned Davis earlier, Mr. Johnson. What do you think about Davis versus Tio?
Well, listen, forget T.O. This boy he got in front of him gonna be a tough fight. One
Man,
boy is a
I
natural
think so.
140 pounder, and he a champ. And he look, boy,
conversation wise.
listen. I'm saying no. Let's not look past this fight he got coming up. Right?
We're not looking past it.
No, this is why I say that, right? Until he dropped Santa Cruz, right? I thought Santa Cruz was winning. He was peppering the shit out of me.
Well, we talking about Tank?
This boy, he about to fight, got more power than that, got more power than Santa Cruz, and he can fight too.
Who you talking about, Tank and Barrios?
So he might go back down. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Tank and Barrios? Okay, we thought you was talking about Teofimo Lopez and Cambosis.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what
okay.
is it?
Yeah. Okay. Tank gonna knock him out. Tank gonna knock him out. I watched Barrios. Barrios should. I can't remember who he fought. But he should have already lost.
Take a knockout, Tio?
No, we're talking about Barrios. His opponent.
Oh yeah.
Listen, hey Kwame, everybody ain't sharp every day, right?
True.
But he's a naturally bigger dude. He's stronger. I ain't gonna say he might stronger, but he's longer and he's taller.
Mm-hmm.
And he can fight. You know what I'm saying?
He all
So,
right. I would give him. I feel like he's a B fighter. He ain't no A fighter, and I think Tank is gonna beat all B fighters. Tank. I feel the only people who are gonna beat Tank are gonna be another pure boxer who's black. Because Floyd is right now is not going to put him in a dangerous fight at 140.
Right? But this is the thing, though, right? Tank's defense ain't always the best, and Tank gets hit a lot.
No, he got hit a lot against Santa Cruz. He don't get hit a lot. He got hit a lot against Santa Cruz because Santa Cruz has experience and he has reach. Santa Cruz is a four-time world champion. Santa Cruz no bum. He moved up.
Listen. Even a half broke down Gamboa was giving him problems. I
don't know if he gave him problems. He didn't give him problems. Tank should have gotten rid of him quicker. He didn't have problems with him. But he should have wasted him quicker.
Listen, he was still in a fight till he got dropped. Right?
I don't know. I feel when I watched that fight, there was no rounds that there was maybe one round where I felt like Gamboa might have won that round.
But Gamboa couldn't move though. Gamboa was basically stationary.
But what I'm saying is that I don't call that giving someone problems. I think you got to look at Gamboa as a veteran, a former world champion, and an Olympic gold medalist. That guy has a lot of experience. He was just surviving. I don't feel like he gave Tank any problems. But what I will say is that it didn't seem like Tank's power carried the same way at 135 as it did at 130. And I think that's what you're talking about going up to 140.
Yeah, he's going to 140.
140, right. And that's why but Floyd is a very smart guy, so I don't think he's gonna put him in there with someone where he don't think that he's gonna be able to exploit that.
You better stay away from Taylor. You better stay away from Tio.
You got to think.
But see, the thing is, listen, Ellerby said he didn't really like this fight for Tank.
Right. Well, Tank is to Floyd what Canelo was to Oscar. They're not going to put them in no bad situations because that's all they got. You know, and Oscar ain't got them no more. So they you know.
Ellerby just selling the fight when he says stuff like that.
And that's what I feel like. He's selling the fight because I seen Barrios fight 3 times, and I'm not sold on him. I feel like on his best day he's an A-, B+. On his best day he's an A-. Barrios, who tanks his opponent. On his best day he an A-, a strong B+, more of a B+. But there's a little something to me that's missing. But it'll be a good fight. And you know what? That's what we need to see with Tank if he's gonna fight pay-per-view. You know, we people are tired of seeing him beat Latino fighters who are moving up in weight. You know, but if you notice, we're constantly seeing the same thing. He's just constantly fighting Latino fighters. I want to see him fight a black fighter. I want to see him fight a ranked good black fighter. That's what I want to see, because we're constantly hearing when he's constantly getting beat up and sparring by good, even amateur black fighters. So my thing is, and I love Tank. I will buy all Tank pay-per-view. I support Tank, but we need to get past just fighting Latinos with Tank. I want to see him fight some black fighters, good black fighters.
But you know what though? Now to be honest, like that was the Floyd game plan.
Yeah, I know that's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean? If you look at it, right, every black fighter he fought, you know, basically was close at the end. I can only think of two, you know, Zab and Shane.
Right.
Those are the only two I can really think of.
Right. But you know, to Floyd's defense on that was it was the fact that all his fights were, when he was doing that Showtime deal, most of them were on Mexican holidays. So that was the game plan. They was called it Cinco de Mayo. That was their game plan going out the door. It was constantly a Latino fighter on Mexican holidays because they're smart. Unlike Bob Arum, they're smart. They know that, and someone got mad at me for this. They called me a racist because I said this. But they know black people really don't support their own fighters and buy pay-per-views. You put them against another black fighter, the Mexican or Latino money is most likely not going to go into it unless they feel like that person can beat him. You know, like it's a legit person that could beat him, it would be big. But for the most part, to go back a little bit to the initial topic that we was talking about in Crawford and Spence, that's always been an issue with the money too. It's that you got two black fighters who are going to be fighting for the same viewers. And that's always been the issue, and why it needed to be built and built and built and built and built so more people will watch it. So you know, with Tank, he has to go in there and win. I'm glad that he's challenged himself and going up to 140. Barrios is right. Is the right person for him to be fighting, to be moving up, because he's not a bum. He's actually a really good fighter. He's just not an elite fighter at 140. He's not Ramirez or Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis. You know, he's another young guy who's making his way up, and he can't pass up the payday because who else Barrios really got to fight for a big payday money? No one. You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to both of them. It'll be a good fight. I'm gonna purchase it. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I got I'm sorry. I got I don't know. Long as Tank stay away from T.O., man, he'll be all right, man. Long as they all stay away from T.O., he'll be all right. Brooklyn in the building, Philly.
Fight.
What's that?
Fight.
Who, Tank and T.O.?
T.O. and Tank. Yep.
Easy work.
Yeah, I think T.O. too big for him. Pause.
Yeah.
Easy work. It's too big. I think it's too big. I don't know if it's going to be easy work. What a lot of people don't give Tank respect or props for is he's really a pretty skillful fighter. He sets up his shots right. He don't take a lot of. I mean, he took punishment against Santa Cruz, but Santa Cruz is a guy who's known for throwing a lot of punches. I mean, think about it. Santa Cruz possibly is in the top 5 of all active boxers in activity and punches thrown per round. That's why people watch Santa Cruz. All the motherfucker do is throw punches. You know? Yeah. So I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked about that. And when everyone was saying, "Oh, he's going to run through Santa Cruz," I didn't believe he was going to run through Santa Cruz because Santa Cruz ain't he. I mean, when he lost to Frampton, he changed up his game plan in the rematch and outboxed him easy. Like, he has experience. So I didn't think it was going to be an easy fight, but, you know, he's a smaller guy, and you can't be a smaller guy getting clipped by Tank. I mean, you're going to get your lights cut out, which is what happened, you know. So
I think that I'm gonna add Loma in there, and I'm gonna add Comey in there, and I'm gonna say that we underestimated T.O. with the foot movement. I even said that Loma's gonna be a tough fight because he all that lateral movement and perpetual motion. What T.O. gonna do with that? And T.O. said his reply was like, "Y'all gonna be surprised. Like my level rise with my opponents. My IQ is higher than what y'all think."
Right.
So I think that he's gonna study Tank. He's gonna get the movements down. He's gonna go in there with that game plan and play Matador. And also T.O. is disciplined. He's disciplined. And I think T.O. gonna go in there with a game plan. Like I said, he's big enough and strong enough to catch Tank coming in. He's gonna be able to hit Tank and back up enough where he can see Tank and what he does and catch him. Just like he started catching Loma with the uppercut. Every time Loma he'd catch him with the uppercut. Boom. I think that's what he's going to do with Tank. I think Tank will end up running into something. I think he'll end up running into that straight right hand because he's going to be so far away to mount that attack. And I think that that's the only Achilles heel that I think that T.O. has is the inside fighting. And he has to keep Tank outside where that power is and power range. If Tank mess around and get inside, that uppercut from Tank, that body shot, that 1-2 Mike Tyson type of thing when he dipping, whoop bop, with that overhand left. Woo!
I think what's really underrated and underlooked about Tank is his ability to how intelligent he is, how he sets up shots, and he's also is very comfortable defensively too. He's very comfortable. So, hey, we want to see the fights. You know, we want to see the fights. Yeah. These are all good. These are all good fights. Looks like we're coming out of COVID and everything's opening back up. And we got good fights. We got we got to talk about Wilder Fury 3. That was
yeah. We got all of them coming up. I want to see Haney. I want to see Haney fight Loma though. That's what I really want to see, bro.
Yeah. I'm kind of past that at this point now because both of them lost.
Hey, Loma has a fight with that Chinese boy coming up.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
And dude ain't no joke.
Nope.
Dude ain't no joke.
Is the fight at 130 or 135?
I
don't know.
135, I think it is too. Yeah. I try not to think with my heart too much. I think Wilder's gonna win his next fight. And it's not from my heart.
Listen, right? The get back is a mug. Seriously.
Yeah, I think Wilder's gonna win his next fight. I really do. And I'm saying that because he looks focused and Tyson Fury doesn't. That's why I'm saying it. Tyson Fury is running his mouth a lot.
Tyson is scared.
I think so too. I think he's scared too.
He know he cheated. And then you got to fight this nigga again.
Yeah, he tried everything to get out of it. He tried everything to get out of it. Everything to get out of it.
My heart say I want Wilder to win. But Wilder also has to come in with more tools. Because naturally, Fury will beat him. Fury didn't have to cheat.
I think he has them. Or better yet, right? I think he's already has some of them. He just wasn't listening to Breland in them no more.
Right.
He wasn't listening to Breland.
He fell in love with his power.
I don't know if he has them or not, because when you get hurt,
losing has an effect of humbling the motherfucker too.
Yep.
You feel me?
Well,
bringing a person down to reality off that high horse they was on.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna tell you this when this started, and you alluded to this earlier, host, when you said it'll be a continuation from the 12th round, the new fight, this third one will be a continuation. I think that first fight when Fury got up after that right hand that Deontay Wilder hit him with, because Deontay Wilder turned his back, raised his hands, pounded his chest. And then we look back and Fury was up. And not only did Fury get up, Fury almost arguably even that round out, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that had an effect on Wilder. Like he fought that round like, damn, you got up? Like he couldn't believe that Fury actually got up. He was amazed. When that second fight came, I think that it carried over. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that he went like, I got to hit this guy harder. And I think when he tried on that, I think that Fury knew that. And I think Fury danced around, floated like a butterfly, and stung like a bee. I don't think Fury had to cheat to win because he has the tools to beat Wilder, but he did cheat. Let's get that out of the way. But as far as boxing ability, I think that Fury has the tools, minus the power, to beat Wilder. And if Wilder come in and with that same, just the right hand, he's not going to be Fury. It's going to be the same way. I don't think that he had those tools because when you get hurt, you resort and default back to what you know and what you learn as a habit. Like when Mayweather got hurt, Mayweather knew I got to jab, I got to go back, boom, I got to jab and duck.
You know
so
what?
he knew off instinct. When Wilder got hurt, Wilder didn't know how to protect himself. He didn't go to the jab.
Right? Let me say this, Drake, right? It seemed like as fights went on, Wilder regressed.
Yeah.
And he stopped doing the basics that got him there and just started depending on that one right hand.
Yep. 100.
Because you got to remember, right? The boy came from the Olympics.
Right.
So he had a little bit of boxing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He stopped using it.
He meddled too.
If you watch any of his practices, you know, even with Breland, nigga throwing jabs, hooks, uppercuts. You know, I'm saying to myself, like, well, why aren't you going in the fight?
And
Go bye.
Yeah,
bye.
he fell in love, and also your habits follow you into the ring, and he wasn't working on those things, so it wasn't any muscle memory to do those things in those fights. Where now, because think about this, the way he looks now on the pads with Malik Scott, if he never had that, it wouldn't look the way that it looks now. You know, it like he's one of the things Wilder never did, which I didn't understand because the power he possessed was throw shots to the body. You know, now looks like he's throwing shots to the body. Man, I just watched the first Luis Ortiz fight with Wilder. I was shocked that he knocked him out with an uppercut because it's just punches you don't see him throw. That you don't even know he got.
Right? Hey, that's the thing too, right, Kwame? You know, like I refuse to accept that Mark Breland, a renowned Olympic champion and welterweight champion, wasn't teaching this boy.
Facts. I facts. He fell in love with his own power, and he depended on all that. He said it don't matter if I get knocked out, especially after he beat Luis Ortiz the first time, because that was the killer. So it's like,
you know, what was the killer when he was talking that bullshit about you got to be perfect for 60 minutes. I just got to be perfect for a second.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That right there, that's when.
That ain't what I see now, though. That ain't what I see from him.
He don't have any tools, man. You got to go in there with more than that right hand, man, to be a perfect. You thinking that's an elite level? Fury is an elite level boxer. Whether he cheats, we all know he cheats. Yeah. Whether he cheats or whatever he does, Fury is still an elite level boxer, bro. And you cannot go in there with no one dimension and think you're gonna beat him, which is that right hand, and think you're gonna get.
I agree,
and that's just what it is.
I agree with that 100%. All right, guys. Well, we gonna wrap it up because I gotta make some dinner or something like that. So
yes, sir.
We gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. Everyone that was in the chat that supported. Some people left, but those who stayed and participated, we definitely appreciate you guys as well. And thanks so much to the panel, Dreeko and Kyron. You guys,
my man.
Always, man.
Absolutely.
You guys held it down. We saw a little bit of Brooklyn come out. We saw a little bit of Philly come out. It's hard for me.
Hey, Kwame, just what he don't understand, right? So they just be talking with their hands. Yeah.
Right.
Yo,
Right.
yo, pull your hand out my face, nigga.
Right. Right. My thing is I can't take a side because I'm originally from Brooklyn, which is always the core of me. But then Philly is like my home because I lived there and experienced so much there. So it's just wild. We're just watching both of y'all because both of y'all motherfuckers act like Philly in Brooklyn. So it's funny just watching it. But salute to you guys. We'll definitely do this again. Mr. Johnson, you always welcomed on the panel. And everyone else, stay loyal to the game, and we out of here.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Good night.